What's up? What's up? What's up? Or should I say peace, peace, peace? Hey, this your girl Navi. So it's been a minute. Girl been working. Got some things to say about trucking in this stream. And I know none of them panels that are available will allow this stuff to come out. So, we over here on my channel. Peace to you guys who showed up in the room. Trying to figure out how much of this I want to expose, first of all. Um, Trying to keep some comments that I have about the events of the last week and a half to myself, but it's real interesting. Okay. Um, but I'm gonna start out this way. It's Mental Health Month, and the Netflix movie Straw is interesting. I told a friend, I said it's a double entendre because it's just called Straw with Taraji Henson, and I'm not gonna give the movie away, but the two entendres I had was either straw stands for the straw that broke the camel's back, or um, everybody's straw man. Um, Taraji, the whole situation just seemed to be everybody's straw man. She was everybody's straw man, and everybody was everybody else. It was crazy. I was like, "Damn, that's a straw man argument." If I ever heard one, y'all should check that movie out. They asked me to do a review on it, but it didn't come up right, so I was kind of busy too, and I couldn't do it. But yeah, Straw was a interesting one that was perfect timing for Mental Health Month. Um, Also, shout out to my niece with her video. Y'all know the one, Trauma. It all was right there. Okay. In light of the things that I've seen so far, I'm like, everybody on social media is mentally ill. Yeah, and I'm on social media too. We all got issues. Um, yeah, can't take shit serious now, okay? Um, but this other song that I am gonna play, which may get us struck, but this young lady, I happened to be over, I think I was on TikTok and saw this song. Smoke just played it today. But the thing about this song is that they're trying to give this song give the credit of this song to someone else. And Crystal Crave asked us who were able to hear her song to share it with as many as we can so she can get, her credit, her viral, whatever, whatever. Okay. So y'all might want to get y'all children out the room because it does have curse words in it. But I'm going to play that song just to make sure that she's not like, who's that girl, Aniko, where they took her song. Um, and it could all be a play, but at the same time, I like the sentiment of the song because sometimes you just gotta say, let me play it.
You are now listening to Anyway Well. Fuck you, cause I ain't in the mood today. Half of y'all don't really fuck with me anyway. And most of y'all will run your mouth but never run a fade. Quick to clock some teeth but couldn't clock minimum wage. Bitch need a viral moment, ask me if I give a fuck. I'm knocking bitches out the frame and telling baby try her luck. They fucked around and let the rookie off the leash to run them up. I see they watching me and taking notes but never keeping up. Tell you what, don't even drop what's in the bin. When I spit it high, spit it, make you write it again. Kelly style mannequins are picking up pins. Hope asking for writer's credit, huh? Come again. If you ain't know this, now this game could probably fuck your life up. You ain't a gambler, why the fuck you go and pick the dice up? You out here thinking you the baddest, they done gashed your head up. Bitch, you a bird, belly flying, better get your bread up. It is absurd, what is the word? Bitches be quick to observe. Niggas get curved, kick to the curve. I got him cuffing my curves. Come get your nigga, cause he on my figure, and lately he working my nerves. Out of his league, he's so intrigued, but I'm wondering what I deserve. Fuck you, cause I ain't in the mood today. Half of y'all don't really fuck with me anyway. And most of y'all will run your mouth but never run a fade. Quick to clock some teeth but couldn't clock minimum wage. Fuck you, cause I y'all run your mouth but never run a fade. Quick to clock some tea but couldn't clock minimum wage. Crystal this, crystal that, but they ain't know what crystal at. Before you run your cocksuckers, take a look at crystal stats. Acting like they made crystal, pulling rabbits out the hat. They ain't built like the rookie, they ain't got the format. Probably shouldn't do this, but fuck it. Here go your warning. I'm spirits just like preachers up in church Sunday morning. She sees subbing me because she bitter, basic, and born. Imagine watching all my moves while I'm simply ignoring. I can give you all the answers, then you still couldn't pass it. I could sit a hater down and she still couldn't stand. They be watching like a hawk, trying to see what the plans be. Guess your mama should have swallowed. You are a plan B. If you mad, I paint the picture, go and get sis pissed. I'm like the perfect portrait maker for got sis sick. Treat the music like my canvas, make you call quits. I'm the first and the last, bitch. I've been it. Fuck you, cause I ain't in the mood today. Half of y'all don't really fuck with me anyway. And most of y'all will run your mouth but never run a fade. Quick to clock some tea but couldn't clock minimum wage. Fuck you, cause I ain't in the mood today. Half of y'all don't really fuck with me anyway. And most of y'all will run your mouth but never run a fade. Quick to clock some tea but couldn't clock minimum wage. Fuck you, cause I ain't in the mood today. Half of y'all don't really fuck with me anyway. And most of y'all will run your mouth but never run a fade. Quick to clock some tea but couldn't clock minimum wage.
Okay, so that was Crystal Crave. She asked us to run her song up. So that's what I'm doing. But the sentiments are right there. You got to understand, a lot of these people don't fuck with you. And I understand that for me, okay? Because I've been watching shit, okay? And people, people out here talking about how people be on panels all the time and all night and this, that, and the other. And there's two things going on. One, some people want those other people off the panel so that they can have a seat at the table and not have any opposition. The other side of that is some people are on this motherfucker, excuse my language, because shit changes so intricately and, on this trolling shit that you got to stay up on what's going on before you get caught up in some stuff that had nothing to do with you. Again, shout out to the brother who told us to stay on the porch about 2 weeks ago. I ain't got off that bitch yet. Like I said earlier, I feel like I'm on punishment. Okay? Because stay on the porch. There's some shit going on. There's some funky shit going on. Okay? But woo. So, we got a book to read, and I'm not into. Oh Lord, here we go. I got a book to read at some point. It probably won't be today because I got some stuff to get off my chest, and it's about trucking. This is for the people who are interested in knowing about this industry just a little bit because, I done found out some shit, and I had to ask some questions. Like I asked my sister, I said, "Has trucking always been like this?" She said, "Yeah, we just didn't see it on our side." Crazy ass shit, y'all. Crazy ass shit. My first week was good. Had fun. Did what I had to do. Little challenges. I'm dealing with a lot of different dispatchers, or should I just say a lot of different telemarketers, okay? Because this is sales 101, okay? But so we narrowed, let's say 7, 8 dispatchers down to 2 that we could deal with for the week, and one gave me a really low load that was local. Agreed to it, but at the same time, hey Alexis, um, at the same time, immediately the other dispatcher said that we should have gotten at least $100 more for that short trip. It is what it is. It paid for some of my fuel. Okay. It was challenging during the midweek. And because of what one dispatcher said, I stayed with the main dispatcher who was getting me a little bit more money. So that was cool. Right. Well, we ran that shit up. Right. Now, I don't know if some of y'all caught it in the chat, but I blew 3 tires in 2 days. 3 tires in 2 days. Okay. Um, this truck I purchased with older tires on it. The guy who sold it to me said that he wasn't going up on the price because he knew that I would have to replace the tires. I thought I'd get a month or two out of them. 3 tires blew in 2 days. The first tire, excuse me, the first tire took out my quarter panel, okay, and left me on the side of the road. You know, if some of y'all want a job, y'all might try cleaning up the damn freeway, okay? Because it was busted tires everywhere, not broken glass, but busted tires, okay? But either way, the best tire on the truck um, broke. I mean, blew out. Took out my quarter panel. For those of you who don't know what a quarter panel is, if you look at a truck and you see the second set of tires, which is the back of the tractor, front of the trailer, there is a metal guard, sometimes plastic, that is in front of the tire. That's a quarter panel. Behind those tandems, those two sets of tires, there's a mud flap hanger, and that's going to be important in a minute. Okay, so it blew out my chrome quarter panel. Okay, I don't even know how much it is. It's a chrome shop around here somewhere. I might have to look at it today if they're open. So I'm shut down on the side of the road, 75, 80 miles per hour, not really a shoulder, and running late. I have a 10-minute window, 10, 15-minute window. So I got to run hard the whole day, barely can stop to use the bathroom, walk 7, get something to eat, none of that stuff to be on time. So as it turns out, the tire blew. We're on the side of the road. Because everything's on me, I got to call the folks. I got to get the tow truck. I got to get, well, not tow truck, but repair guy and all this stuff. And I do it. Luckily, when I called about the load, they said I had until 3 o'clock and not 12 o'clock. So we had time to get it fixed. Homeboy said he was going to come out there, and then his tech got caught up, and I had to find somebody else, and they weren't available, and I had to find somebody else, and oh shit, okay. Um, the gentleman that I had been speaking to on the phone, after saying that he would be there in like 45 minutes, which would have still given me time to get there, and he told me that his tech couldn't get there, right? So I got to worrying. I really got to worrying. But in the process of this, let me just say, I had told him that I needed to move the truck to an off ramp because this was not a safe place for any technician to be working because of the traffic that was going up that road. And so, luckily, I found probably less than a mile up. I found a wider spot that I could pull over to that when the repair truck came, they could fix the tire. Okay. I mention this because I think that the brother appreciated the fact, and I say brother as in man, not gender. I mean, not any ethnicity or anything. Um, I think he appreciated that, that I was concerned about his technician. Okay, because some people wouldn't have been, and that was really important for me. I mean, one of my niece who plays, I play her songs sometimes. She used to be a tow truck driver, so that's if tow truck drivers, put themselves in dangerous situations to help you on the side of the road. So I think he really appreciated that because I didn't have to do it. But he had told me basically if I could get within 5 miles, it wouldn't cost me a second $110 to fix that tire. But as I started moving, I said I can't do that because I tried to move and the tire I ran the risk of having that tire wrap around the axle in some form or fashion, which would have been harder to get off and may have cost me more, may have damaged more things. So I only went up the road just a little bit rather than trying to get within that 5 miles that would save me $110. So homeboy called. He said basically that his technician got caught up and it would be, let me see, I think after 10:30 before he could get there. And then of course he would have to work on it. We would have to pay for it. By the time I got where I needed to be, by how far I was away, I probably wasn't gonna make the 3 o'clock window. Okay, so I started scrambling. I was like, well, oh my god, I'm gonna have a service failure, whatever, right? So I'm sitting in the back trying to find another person, and eventually homeboy knocks on the door, and I happened to see the little on his lapel what his company name was. I was like, I thought your technician couldn't come out here. He said, no, I just decided, since I was there to grab a truck and come out and fix you. So the guy that I was talking to on the phone came out and fixed my truck, fixed my tire. Okay. That's the first tire that blew. Got the tire fixed. I had another load that I had to pick up. That's why it was important for me to stay on schedule. And so we get up the road. I get to the place. We offload that load on time before 3 o'clock. Shoot over to the truck stop. I got to pick up another load tomorrow or the next day. Pick that load up. Sitting over there picking the load up. Get ready to leave out the gate. Pull away from the dock. Close the doors and see one of the tires. And I'm like, why is that tire that I just bought looking flat? Now I had a heavy load, but it was looking flat. So um, I was like, okay, I got to go air this tire up. I think I still had time, but I had to go air the tire up. I did have time, yeah. Um, but it was low. Okay, it was here come your ticket type low. So we get over here to I find the TA. Get over there to the TA. They have my tire. Now they asked me what size tire I have. Now the thing that I noticed was that the tire that homeboy had put on there was a 280. No, a 295 70 80 R instead of 75 R 22.2, which just means it is wider. Okay, so either way, it wasn't the tire that I ordered. Okay, or the size that I told him, other than the 295. So we get over there. Um, they replace my tire. Now they offer these used tires, mind you. I'm in the market of replacing all my tires at some particular point, but I just had to put a used tire on it that just blew out, lost air. We found out it had a hole in it after I sat there and aired it up, and the air started coming out. I knew where it was, and it was not repairable. For some of you who don't know about trucking or even tires for the most part, if your hole is in um, the middle of the tire, middle of the tread, it can be repaired. But if it's so close to the sidewall, it can't be repaired. It has to be replaced. So that second tire, which is a good tire, it really was a good tire. And the sister that was there really helped me because she was showing me some tires outside. And then she said, I got some more tires in here. And she really went above and beyond what she could do for me to get that better tire that was inside this fenced area. So here's the deal. The first tire cost me $453. The second tire cost me 332 tires. I mean $32 tires, dollars, right? So I'm like 800 into what I'm making this week on some damn tires. Okay, so it is what it is. We still can run the rest of them. For the most part, we should be good. Get the tire fixed. Next day I'm rolling. 2 hours into my shift, the worst tire on the truck blew out. Okay. Mind you, the first one that blew out, my sister was on the phone with me, and it scared both of us. And she was concerned that it might have been a steer tire, but it wasn't a steer tire. Well, tire on the right side of the tractor blew out. Okay. This one took out my mud flap holder, my chrome mud flap holder. Okay. It blew it upside down. Let me see if I can show y'all. I might be able to pull that up. And we just here doing shit because they over there doing shit that it's just a waste of time. Let me see if I can pull this picture up to show you what my mud flap hanger looked like. Let's see. Backgrounds, overlays, loops, pictures. It's pictures. Yeah, let me see if I can pull this up from something on my phone. Let's see. All right, show y'all what this mud flap hanger looked like. That first week is coming up in a minute. Okay. That's what the third tire looked like when I blew it out. Okay. You see them screws on the top of that mud flap hanger, that metal piece right there? That's supposed to be on the bottom. It blew the shit out of that. Okay. So these mud flap hangers, they have a spring in them so that when stuff like that happens, they'll just flex. And, I guess not cause any real damage for being stationary. But it blew that bitch upside down. Mud flap is gone. That has to be replaced. Now the thing here is that you have to have a mud flap on your trailer, on your tractor, if you would, so that, cars passing by, you're not throwing rocks up. Quarter panel, when I lost the quarter panel, which is in the front of this tire, on the other side, I still had the mud flap hanger in the back so I wouldn't get a ticket. This one right here could have got me a ticket. Okay, so I had to get it replaced if I could. Okay, so that was like, hadn't checked into it because my main concern is that damn tire that blew out right there. Okay, so let me bring that down. So from here, luckily I was at a Flying J Balsaman, and they sell tires there. Okay, Balsaman sells tires, and their tires were inside, unlike the ones that was at the TA. All theirs was outside with debris inside the tire, which I was questioning whether or not they were going to actually clean that out if I had gotten my tires from there. Either way, we got to find out how much these tires is going to be. Okay, 2 hours into my shift. So it's like, here's the thing. I done blew 3 tires in 2 positions, and there's 8 tires on the back of this truck, on the tractor. And I had to weigh the law of averages, that if through misfortune every tire on there blew and I was paying anywhere from $3 to $4.50 to buy them, I was going to end up spending more than $3,000 to replace every last one of them, the law of averages. And I would have Mitch-Mac tires on my truck because they were blowing out at random, would have been blowing out at random spots. So I had to make a judgment call. And I ended up putting 8 new tires on the truck. This ate up my revenue for that first week. Okay. Um, we didn't have a big margin at the end of the day, at the end of the week, for paying all the bills, this, that, and the other. But it was what it was. I'm still excited. It was challenging for that week, but we can still make it, you know, make it work. So next week rolls up. I still got 2 dispatchers, and I don't know how many motherfuckers waiting in the wings. Okay, telemarketers waiting in the wings, because that, again, that's all this shit amounts to. So I deal with the dispatcher that made me the most money, and I actually told him I had to put new tires on that truck. So we got to make some money. Okay, yeah, I'm good at Alexis. So I said, we got to make some money this week. Okay, I'm looking to see what we can do, what I can do, and get it rolling, because we out here, right? So I'm dealing with dispatcher number 1. Dispatcher number 2, he got me a little low load in the middle. But everybody wants that number 1 position because they can't make money sitting behind their desks unless if they ain't got a truck moving their stuff, right? Okay, we lost the computer. I'm on the phone. But anyway, let's see if we can get that back up anyway. That's one reason why I don't want to sit up here and do too much, because these signals are kind of bad today. All right, so we do all of that. Now, let me explain how this thing went from the beginning of the week to the end of the week. Okay, my end of the week, if you would. I have a tractor. I don't have a trailer, so we have 2 options. This is just telling y'all about trucking. If y'all got anybody that is considering getting into trucking and they want to know a little bit about it, go call them up right now, okay? And get them in this stream, or share this stream with them afterwards, okay? So I have a tractor. After 25 years, I have purchased a tractor so that I can make the higher money and not be what I call it, a high paid company driver, sharecropping and shit like that. Yeah, okay. So I'm looking to do some shit with not a lot of overhead. Okay. Not a lot of people in my pockets, if you would. So I don't have a trailer. So it's either buy a trailer, get loads that are drop and hook loads where that you pick up their trailer and take it from point A to point B, and then you got to keep doing that, finding what they call power only loads. Or it's this new thing, or it's new to me because I didn't know the shit work like this, okay? That you can get a loadout trailer. Now, what a loadout trailer is an empty trailer that they need to get from one location to another location. It doesn't have any freight in it. And while you're getting it from one location to another location, let's say a week down the road, 10 days down the road, and 10 days away, you can load that truck as that trailer as if it's your trailer and make money. And that's what we did the first week. I had a good ass trailer. And because of something that had happened at the beginning of the week, at the beginning of this, some yes we can, and then oops, that fell through. I said to hell with y'all, I'm gonna go get my own trailer, and I started to try to book my own loads immediately out the box while I was sitting at home. First thing we did was we found a trailer that was empty. You don't make any money off of it. Most of them, you don't have to pay them anything. That comes into play when you don't meet your deadline for getting it where it needs to be. And they don't pay you anything. Okay, supposedly. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all about that in a minute. It's gonna be a long stream because I'm a storyteller right now. Okay, so I booked my own trailer, but I didn't have a load. Okay, and in the process of this, here's one of the constraints that I had on this shit. There are different types of authority that have to come through. Motor carrier authority, just a bunch of shit that has to come through. And at the end of the week, I find out that I don't have this one authority that allows me to pick up and deliver loads in my own home state. Okay. And it wasn't until I went to this one company that they told me about this. I'm like, where the fuck did this come in at? Okay. So we're waiting for that to come through. So what I have to do is go outside of my state, pick up a load, deliver all wherever. And by the time I'm getting ready to come back home, I have to deliver that load in a state other than my home state before I come home. So you guys know I live in California. So I went for Nevada. It was the closest border to me, right? We got an empty trailer, but we don't have a load. So this is where dispatcher number one comes into place. He finds me a good load that gets me near the area where this trailer has to be dropped off at. Okay. Meaning the state, not the actual location, but the state. And we just had to run around until we could get back to that location on the day that it was done. We're supposed to be returned. Supposed to be returned in 7 days. We had to take 10. Fortunately, they did not charge me because we didn't get it back until the 10th day. On the 11th day, they would have started charging me $100 a day for not having that trailer back. Okay. So he found me a load, worked out well. That started my week. When we get this trailer delivered, okay, when we finally get this trailer delivered where it's supposed to be, it's a little messy. Okay. I find the location, that's not a problem. We get it unloaded, we arrive on time, we get it unloaded, we got clean bills, everything's good with this point, okay? But these motherfuckers start calling me at 5:30 in the morning every goddamn morning, okay? And I got dispatchers calling, I got insurance people calling, I got companies calling, all trying to telemarket my business, okay? Or telemarket me, sell me something, right? Sell me stuff that I already have as well. Okay. So anyway, all these calls are coming through. All the brokers are back in because it's Monday morning. This is when this trailer is being returned. Had one guy call me and said they can give me a trailer for 3 months. 3 months. At $1,500 and I can run it. Okay. It'd be $1,500 for 3 months. It's an option. Okay. Unless I find $8,000 and buy one, a used one. But either way. So anyway, my number one dispatcher, I'm looking at him or talking to him, because I kind of trust him now. And so I'm talking to him and I was like, yeah, what do you think about getting a trailer? I mean, I wasn't going to do it right then anyway, but I said, what do you think about getting a trailer so we don't have this loadout situation? Because I'm getting ready to drop this trailer and I'm not going to have a trailer and I can't get a load until I have a trailer for the most part, right? So he says, not just yet, let's get some longevity. Okay, let's get some longevity. All right. I said, cool, that sounds about right. I wasn't gonna do it until I got home and I also talked to my sister about it. Okay. So and she was under the same, yeah, let's not do that right now. So anyway, now I got to say, after this trailer is empty, I got to take it to the location where it's supposed to be delivered. This location is in a dirt field, and all the addresses are not clear, which they should have been. Most of them were, except for the fucking place where I wanted to go. Okay, so I'm trying to find this location, this address, and at the same time, my dispatcher, a couple of dispatchers, are trying to get me a load trailer, whatever. Okay, because you hate to tell them, hey, don't do this. They don't do it. Something else falls through, and then you're fish out of water, and you got to scramble to find something. So I put them all on duty. Hey, yeah, see what y'all can find me. Okay, see what's up, because this is a new week. We getting ready to run it again. Um, and of course, everybody wants my business. So my main dispatcher, he has found me a load. We're going back and forth. What about this load? What about this load? What about this one? From this dispatcher, from that dispatcher, blah, blah, blah. It's all going on, right? And then they have to have my COI. What a COI is your certificate of insurance, okay? So he needs this, but here's the thing. I can't send it to him. It has to come from my insurance company, but my insurance company has a portal that it can be sent to them so that they can get it. Okay, then there's this other company over here who makes sure that my insurance is current at all times, and that's over here somewhere. They don't send it out; they just monitor it, right? So at the time, my dispatcher's trying to get this information, which has already been sent out to the brokerage company that I'm running for. Okay, that I'm running for, not that I'm trying to run for, that I'm running for. Okay, um, they need my COI. He has trouble finding my COI. They need me to send it. I haven't watched the video to see how to do it because I'm assuming that it's already been sent out to the people it needs to be sent out to onboard it with this company. So now I got to figure it out. I'm making phone calls. I'm trying to find addresses. I'm trying to drop trailers, trying to talk to the people that I'm dropping the trailer with. Looking at the GPS, trying to figure out where the damn location is. Whole bunch of shit is going on top of this, and we're trying to get this off so that we can pick up a load, because this is what happened in the interim. He found me a load that paid $4,000. Okay, y'all make sure y'all like that video too. He found me a load that was gonna pay $4,000. Now, mind you, I had suggested two loads. One load was going to North Carolina, and then I told him, I said, I think they got a loadout trailer going there too, which would have been perfect. We take a loadout trailer from our location, get it loaded, take that bitch over to North Carolina, offload it. We're right there in the city where the trailer is supposed to be. Let's drop it early, get something else, whether it's power only or another trailer, and get the hell on out of here. Okay? He didn't take that one. The second suggestion, he didn't take that one, but he finds this other one for $4,000 that is 46 miles away, and it has to be picked up by 12:30 noon. Just after noon. Problem is, I don't have a trailer. He asked me if I wanted him to book the load. I was like, yeah, that sounds like a good one because they've been throwing loads at me this whole morning. Okay. I said, our problem is we don't have a trailer. All right. So he's looking for a trailer. Dispatch number two is like, need a load. You got a load, all this shit. And I'm like, no, we got a load. What we need is a trailer. I said, see if you can find me a trailer. So he goes to find me a trailer. Both of them trying to find a trailer. All right. This is where the shit gets crazy. Um, as I drop the trailer and I'm bobtail trying to go to the location where dispatcher number one is telling me that the trailer is supposed to be, he won't send me the address. Okay. I don't have the address to know where I'm picking the trailer up, even though I'm literally ready to pick the trailer up and time is kicking because I still need um, time to inspect it, time to hook up to it, um, and then put the information in my GPS for the location where we're picking up the load. And what I missed was this is all contingent on if the trailer is clean when I pick it up. Man, we forgot that part, okay? But we're right around 11 o'clock, somewhere around 11 at this particular time, right? So he tells me he's trying to get the address and Then he's got the address, but don't check in yet. Okay, I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, so let me go these 10, 15 miles that I have to go to this location. Maybe by the time, I get over there, I can check in. Okay. So one GPS is dumping. The phone is GPS is actually working, but it's not set for trucks. It tries to take me through the neighborhood, which can get me a ticket. And we got some issues, okay? But we finally get over there. Now, in the interim of getting over there, getting the address and all this stuff, my dispatcher tells me that there are 9 trailers over there, and if I don't like the one that I have, I can select another one. Cool, let's go. Now, mind you, the truck that I had the first week, it was clean, it was new, it was clean, everything worked, it was nice. If y'all know what an extra trailer is, right? Um, I get over there and there's one trailer over there, and it's an older trailer. It's a 2013. Now, mind you, while all this is going on, I'm steady getting text messages, and somewhere in the text message, it says that it's the 2013, and he's requesting to keep it for 10 days. I don't see that message because everything is going on. I can't read the phone at the same time with all these goddamn messages coming through and all these phone calls and all these demands. This trucking is a bitch, okay? So I didn't really realize that it was 2000, between the 2013, 2015, and some people will not load a 2013, 2015. It has to be a newer trailer, 2015 above, 2018 above, stuff like that. So didn't know this shit, right? Mind you, dispatcher know that what the load is that he's trying to put me on. Okay. So anyway, I look at the trailer and I'm disappointed. Okay. And when I go look at it officially, okay, it's an older trailer, so it doesn't have the button that I can push and release. I got to start pulling shit again, up under the trailer and lifting bars and all this other stuff to get the tandem pins to disengage and all of this. Okay, we got that issue. Then there's no license plate on the trailer, which means they're going to pull me over for that. If they catch it, it has no license plate. Um, and I have to really inspect this because if anything's wrong with it and I don't inspect it, all of that's charged back to me, whatever damage it is. So I really have to inspect this, but time is kicking. I told y'all it was about 11 o'clock when all of this was happening, so we're close to 11:30 at this particular point. We're approaching 11:30. I still need 45 minutes to get where I need to be, right? From wherever I am. Um, doesn't have a license plate. So I hook up to the trailer and then I get to thinking, I was like, I don't want this damn trailer. It don't have a license plate. Forget this shit. I'm not taking this trailer. Okay. Now, mind you, contracts have already been signed. And to be honest, I don't recall signing them. Now, all my dispatchers are under the instructions that anything that is contracted with this company comes to me first and I sign all documents. Okay. Because I don't want no middleman in between this for whatever reasons. Okay, it's a shady ass business, just to let y'all know. Okay, so I still don't know if I signed that damn paper, to be honest with you. Okay, but either way, we get over here, I disconnect, and um the load that I'm supposed to pick up, they pretty much call me to set it up. So this load has been booked. Okay, they're calling me with the information. This load has been booked. All right. But we got this trailer issue. So I'm like, do I hook back up to this trailer and take it or try to find another trailer? Because if I go find another trailer, we're definitely not going to be there by 12:30. So I let the dude know that we're trying to get a trailer. We're pushing for time. Do we have any extra time to pick this load up? He said, yeah, you'll be okay. Just get there as soon as possible. That's where he sits. So with this trailer situation that's going on, I end up calling the other dispatch. He's like, did you get a load? Blah, blah, blah. What about this? I said, we got a load. What we need is a trailer. Can you find me a trailer? So he goes looking for a trailer. He finds a 2025 trailer, which will be perfect. Okay. And as I'm talking to him and the broker, then I get the guy with the trailer. Mind you, I didn't disconnect it from the trailer. I'm getting ready to leave. I get the um, the broker for the trailer who's calling me as well. Okay, so I'm on the phone with both of them because I have to take care of both of these situations. And at the time I do this, unbeknownst to me, the first dispatcher is calling in to tell me not to take the trailer, but he can't call in because my lines are locked up. All right, but I'm on the phone with this one broker, right? For the trailer. And I'm telling him, I don't want this trailer. It's not going to work. Because somewhere in this conversation, we find out this is a food grade load. It has to be a food grade trailer, which means this bitch has to be cleaned out before we get there, or it has, I don't have time to clean one out. It has to be a good trailer to just roll over there and put this food in, right? So, somewhere in the conversations, phone call A or B, they're saying that um, the broker on the food load is going to reject the trailer that I have, okay, that I'm picking up here at this location. And then the broker for this location, the trailer for this location, is basically trying to say that I'm obligated to take the trailer and why don't you want to take the trailer? And I'm telling him this is not a good trailer for me because at this time, and I actually back up to get the trailer because I really want this load. They bring the license plate, or not the license plate, they bring a piece of paper and tape it to the back door. He's like, they got the license plate for the trailer and all this shit is going on. They're putting it on the door, and mind you, all the people at the site, which is about three dudes, are back around the trailer that I had left. So I went and I got back on, and I'm frustrated. I don't even roll it up. I connect it, and I forget to roll up the landing gear. Short story on this one, I dragged the landing gear across the gravel parking lot. Okay, that's a problem. And of course, they let me know that, um, which I don't normally do, but it was so much going on at the time. So then, long story. It's a long story. So I'm glad y'all still in here for this. All right. So he tells me basically that, uh, you know, that the trailer, and nothing's wrong with the trailer, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I go back and I double check the trailer. This is when I see that the license plate is on there, and I'm on the phone. The other people are on hold. It's people standing around. These three dudes that work here. I'm checking out the trailer. Like I said, I forget to let up the landing gear. I open the door back up, and I see 30 fucking load locks. It has K rails in it. Okay, with 30 load locks. Let me see if I can find this picture for you guys to show y'all what I'm dealing with. Let's see if we can pull this up. I think I have a picture of that too. Just sharing my week with you guys. For those of you who may be interested, let me see if we can see if we can pull that down. Show y'all what K rails are. Okay, let's bring this one in. It'll be here in a minute. All right. So you guys should see those orange reflective things at the top of the trailer. Each one of those is a load lock. Okay. Now on the side of this trailer are K rails. Normally, we have load locks that you can attach to that metal on the side, and they lock in place to keep the freight from shifting. A K rail is different. Those rails stay in the trailer, they don't come out, okay? And they just slide up and down to hold the freight, which means you could have freight of different sizes being held by different things at different points. You don't have to bring them all down. You could bring one or all of them down if you need to, I guess. I don't know. Either way, and even bring them down to the point where you put ramps on top of them so that you could haul things like I used to haul golf carts and motorcycles and all that stuff, okay, that go in there, have them double stacked. But these are K rails, which means I lose dimension on the top of this trailer, which means that a high cube, if I get something that's high cube, um, has high cubic feet, that I may not be able to put it in there. If a loader is on his forklift and he's got to lift something up, and that pallet that he's lifting is already tall where it's almost fitting to the top of the trailer, he's not going to be able to load that trailer. Okay. Now, if I got a short stack, that's half of this trailer, three-quarters of this trailer, we might be okay. But if it's something tall, like if I was doing, let's say toilet paper towels, they're bigger boxes stacked up. They're not going to be able to get that in there. okay, because of those rails on the top. So I'm already looking at, I'm delivering 30 fucking K rails that I can't take out the trailer, okay? And I still don't know that they're going to reject this trailer on the load that I'm assigned to. So I as me and homeboy are talking, okay, and this is where social media comes into play, okay, because I watched this dude do something that the brothers on this chat on this social media in this social media environment do to each other all the time. It was a troll move that happened, and I couldn't cuss him out because it's business shit, right? So I'm trying to tell him why I can't take this trailer, why this trailer is not going to work for me, why I'm not satisfied with this trailer, and the fact that there's supposed to be 9 trailers over here for me to choose from, and there's only one. So, and I told him, I said, no, I didn't even say what I said there, but here's the deal. As I'm talking, he does like root word in them do. When they interrupt you while you're talking and say some other random ass shit, to get you off so that they can keep in that forefront of the conversation. So he starts out and say that my dispatchers are rude, which throws me back. Troll move. What do you mean my dispatchers are rude? In my head. And as I'm dealing with that, then he turns around and he says that my dispatcher had obligated me to 20 days for the trailer. Now I'm in fucking shock because I've never heard anything about 20 days, agreed to 20 days, or had a conversation about 20 fucking days. So now I'm ready to choke the shit out of my dispatcher, right? And this is about the time that I dragged the landing gear across the parking lot, okay? Because I'm under the obligation that I got to take this trailer because I signed this contract to take this bitch, okay? And might I add for $100, which makes no damn sense to me. I guess I'm getting $100 for carrying around K rails and shit. I don't fucking know because I'm not supposed to pay anything, and they're not supposed to have to pay me, and I'm supposed to be able to load this trailer freely. So anyway, I drag the shit around because he tells me, "What have you talked to them in the office? All this rapid fire, high pressure salesmanship is going on, okay?" And I go over there to talk to them about something because at the same time, we didn't have a release for that trailer. So while I was doing the first inspection looking at it, we didn't even have a release for the trailer. So they're holding me up, which is making me late for this $4,000 load. Okay. Even more late. So I pull it across there. Get out the truck to get ready to go and talk to the people in the office. Don't know that the landing gear is down, but the people on the ground begins to tell me that I dragged the landing gear across the parking lot, which does not look good for me as a female and as a truck driver. Okay. So I look at it. I see the line of where I drug it from. I'm looking at them, talking to them. It's still somebody on hold on the phone, and there's no damage to the landing gear. Just the gravel was disrupted. All right. So that's cool, but the opinion is already set. First opinion. What do you call it? First impression, if you would. Right. So I look like a truck driver that don't know what the fuck they doing. So anyway, about the time that they tell me what I did with the trailer and I'm examining it, making sure that there's no damage and figuring out what we're going to do while talking to this dude on the phone. The dude on the phone says, "And yeah, I know what you just did with the trailer, that you didn't pull up the landing gear." So now I'm like, well, goddamn. And I can't get a full sentence out on this shit because apparently the things that we say don't mean a damn thing around here sometimes. Okay. You're going to have to cuss people out on this shit. All right. So, make a long story short, I don't know what the ramifications are going to be for this landing gear shit because people will throw you under the bus if they can get away with it. I go ahead and take the trailer. I get off the phone with broker number 2 and dispatcher number 2 and broker number 2. Okay, with the 2025 trailer, they're on the other line. This is the time that I find out. Oh, mind you, I found out from the first guy that the broker was going to reject the trailer. So we haven't even had a moment to decide on this. That I find out from the guy that just got off the phone that they're going to reject this trailer for that load. When he gets off the phone, I get on the phone with the the guy trying to get the trailer and the broker and all of this, the 2025, and it's becoming apparent that it has to be a food grade trailer, a food grade load, which my trailer is not. Okay. And I don't know where this other trailer is at all. And we haven't set the contract. And by the time we send over paperwork and this, that, and the other, we're going to miss this load. Okay. So they say we're not going to be able to get that load. They retracted it. I take the trailer outside and I am pissed beyond imagination. Okay. So I just tell everybody, that's it. I'm done. I'm shutting down for the day. What I'm getting ready to do is go to the truck stop and basically all of y'all can kiss my ass. Okay. I'm stuck with this trailer. He said, well, can you take it back? Can I? Okay. I done pulled it outside the gate now. And I didn't go through all the details of what it was. I said, we'll deal with this tomorrow. I went to the truck stop. Okay. After calming down a little bit, I went to the truck stop. But I'm stuck with this industrial trailer because this is for other equipment. I'll just put it like that. It's for other equipment. Okay. So the next day starts and I'm thinking about taking a reset and just say, fuck it. Just take 34 hours, get your mind right, get your paperwork right, take your time to do shit because we rushed all that shit too much. Next day, here they come. Want this load? Want this load? How you doing this morning, ma'am? Ooh, good. Blah blah blah. All the shit. 5:30 in the morning, everybody start calling again. Okay, and load upon load upon load. So I'm like, nope, nope, nope. And let me back up a little bit to why I kept saying no. It wasn't just a matter of being frustrated and angry. In the conversation with the dispatcher that did this high pressured shit, I told him two things. I said, one, you guys, y'all having a whole conversation about me about this, about what's going on, and I'm not in the loop. He said, what are you talking about? You're not in the loop. I CC'd everything to you too. Y'all know how busy I was, so I haven't had time to even look at the emails while all this shit was going on. So this is my first knowledge that he CC'd all the information to me while the dispatcher is sending other stuff. Hey, sign this or whatever. We're waiting on address, that kind of shit. Um, so I peep in there and I see the email, but I'm not able to read it. It's 30 fucking messages in there. My dispatcher and the broker has had 30 correspondences back and forth at this time. Okay. All right. All right. Got you. Set that on the table. The second thing he said was that he gave my dispatcher 10 loads that I could do. Well, exactly when did you realize I wasn't going to be able to get the $4,000 load that it made it apparent that you needed to send my dispatcher 10 loads for a trailer that y'all agreed that I was going to keep for 10 days instead of 7 with the potential of taking it for 20? On top of that, where are these 9 other trailers at? The broker tells me that the 9 trailers are at another location. From what I already gathered, I know that those 9 trailers are in Illinois or Indiana. I'm in Texas. The fuck is that gonna do for me? Peace, peace, peace. Hey, okay. So I'm like, what the fuck what is going on, right? So I shut down. I shut down. But with these 10 loads that this broker has offered to my dispatcher, it makes me feel like they're setting me up to run a particular board without my knowledge nor talking anything about the money. Remember, we were looking at a $4,000 revenue versus some random ass shit that's getting ready to pop up for the next week. Okay? On some local shit. Some hurry up, hustle, and grab it, and the scheduling. We don't even know how the scheduling gonna go. We don't know how the pay is gonna go. We don't know what the load is. And being that I'm a new carrier, I'm limited to only a few brokerage companies because I need to have some longevity under my belt. Okay. So I'm like, y'all trying to stick me on a fucking board, and I don't know how this shit is gonna go, and I hate being in the blind. If y'all don't know, my trucking company is called Night Vision, which means I see through the dark. I don't want to be blind, even in the dark. I don't want to be blind. I'm just saying, I want to see some shit and understand where we're going, right? So anyway, the dispatcher who has gotten this trailer, oh, his ass is torn with me right now. Okay, because you should have had me the right kind of trailer for the load that we had booked, not the wrong type of trailer and negotiating some shit that you ain't even talked to me about. Okay. And so as he's sending these loads through, I'm like, nope, 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 fuck that, fuck you, and fuck what you thinking. Excuse my language. I didn't say it like that, but it was like, I don't know if these are loads that my dispatcher has found on his own, or if these two people are in cahoots, and these are the loads that this broker um, is forcing us to do. Okay, with this trailer without our consent. And so I say no to every damn thing. Okay. Now I'm sure they was mad as fuck at me. I didn't give a fuck. Okay. So I shut down. Loads come through that next day. You know, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? Let me see if I can get that. You know, different things that was going on. This one load pops up and from the other dispatcher who couldn't get was trying to get the 2025 trailer. And I tell him, I said, we got the damn trailer, and this motherfucking trailer. And um, he knows that we have constraints on what we can do because we don't have all the cubic footage for a 53 36 foot, 13.6 trailer because of those K rails in the top. There's load locks in the top. So he's, trying to find something, and he finds me a load. The first suggestion that he had, because I couldn't find anything on the load board with the right broker, the first load he finds is going to Washington. Now, mind you, the load board that I pay for shows me where the hot spots are and all of this stuff. And I know that at this moment, Washington, Oregon, and California, Nevada, and I'm not sure if it was Arizona, but this it's red. It's like it's a no-go state right now. It's going to be some difficulties, okay? And the option was not to take that, but take the other guys. He said, "Well, I can bring you into Dallas um, for $1,000." I was like, 1,000? Nigga, the fuck? How? Okay, I just spent 5,000 on tires, so we need to hit some shit. Okay, we need to take advantage of this being Monday morning and not a bunch of little bullshit, you know. So anyway, I didn't want to do that. And when I get rebellious as fuck. Okay, so we're trying to find these loads. We can't find anything, and I was thinking about going to Georgia because Georgia at the time was not a. It was yellow. It wasn't green. Was it green? It was yellow. Okay, which is caution, but you can get something out of there. So I was thinking about going to Georgia, and then they were saying that there were like a two drop Virginia, North Carolina, but that one was red, orange, and red or something like that. I was like, I really don't want to be over there. I don't want to be in a um, two drop for one in those states over there that has that traffic that's over there. That's going to be a headache and shit, right? Pennsylvania, New York. I'm not going to New York. I'm not going to New Jersey. Only certain parts of Pennsylvania I'm going to go through. Nah, but I was thinking about the Virginia, North Carolina one. And I think some of them we had a problem with because of the K rails, because of the timing. And I just said, fuck it, give me the one for Washington, because at least with Washington, I can get back close to California. Okay. And hopefully my authority for California will come through, which it has not. Okay. As of yet. So I take the Washington one. So we get this shit loaded. It takes about 4 hours for that to happen. Um, and I'm not gonna go through all the details, but the load was questionable whether or not a solo driver could do it. All right. But we make it over here. It's some bullshit coming over here, but we make it over here. And then some crazy other shit starts happening. Now, mind you, the guy with the trailer, because I sent them a letter, okay? I read the 30 damn email correspondences, and I saw exactly what happened. And my number one dispatcher, he was like, "It's not all on me. I don't want to be faulted off of this." And after I read it, I said, "No, it's not all on you. It's on all of us." I said, "But I said, I know how he operates." I said, "I read the emails. I know how he operates." Okay. And no, it's not all on you. It's on all of us. Okay. But for this week, I'm gonna sit you down. I'm gonna go with another dispatcher. Okay. So that's the other dispatcher that got me out west. All right. Now, in the interim of me picking up the load to go out west, um, they called to check on the load to see if I've arrived and if I'm at locations and all that stuff like they're supposed to do. But the gentleman that calls me on the load starts talking about uh, the trailer, but he didn't make it sound like he was talking about the trailer. He made it sound like he was talking about the load I was getting ready to pick up. So I tell him, I said, and I had just found out from the guard, they were like, when they saw the K rails, they were like, we don't know if we're going to be able to load this trailer. And I had already sent the letter in to say, y'all put us in a precarious situation because we're constrained to the amount of loads, the types of loads that we can get because of this trailer. Okay. Um, and other things that I said on there. So I'm thinking I'm talking to the people that I just loaded this load with, but no, I'm talking to the people who want this trailer in Laredo, Texas next week. And he just got all the information, but he does know that this trailer is causing us problems. Then I find out he's not even the one that I'm talking to about the load, but they know. Okay, this is one of the teams from the aggressive broker, if you would. Okay, so in that situation, I talked to that person erroneously, and they're from the same company, just different parts of the company. Then I talked to the people who are actually on the load to let them know, hey, this is the problem we might come across. They got to see if this freight is going to fit in this trailer. And then I have to let the dispatcher know this is where we're at right now. I want to keep everybody in the loop. Luckily, they decided to load the trailer. It wasn't going to be a problem. Okay. The next day, as I'm rolling, I get a check call. The check call is again from the people with the trailer who need the trailer in Laredo by Thursday, next Thursday, not last Thursday. And they want to know my location and they want to know if it's not tracking and all this bullshit. And I'm like, what load are you talking about? Okay. And he tells me he's talking about the trailer because they think that that we were going to deliver a trailer. I'm not even sure how far the distance is, but that we were going to deliver a trailer, and I'll just say it verbally, from El Paso, Texas to Laredo, Texas, for $100. That's what they thought. You got me fucked up. Okay. All the way fucked up. Okay. Without putting any freight in it other than the freight that they want us to put in it that is not going to go directly to Laredo, Texas. Underneath everything, I think they were saying, "Hey, you got my trailer, bring it here." Okay, and not for $100. We ain't. We got this bitch for 7 to 10 days. I only wanted to have it for 7, but we're gonna keep it for the 10. Okay. So anyway, I'm talking to this dude on the phone. Find out he's not calling about the load. He's calling about the trailer. And he's saying that it's not tracking and that on their app I need to go ahead and select the tracking. Well, the problem is both of these things come from the same company, so that app is not going to track two loads from the same company, so they have to use a different app. So I tell him, why don't you use Macro Point to track the trailer like the first guy did, because the thing conflicts. Oh, I need to talk with the broker and see if I can do that. Nigga, no, you can do that. The other dude did it. The first dude out the chute did it. And so they send the tracking. He finds out that they could. They send the tracking, but it says if you want to win $500 for sweepstakes, click this. I was like, niggas, y'all can kiss my ass. Okay, stop playing with me. I ain't clicking shit. Okay. So anyway, we don't pick up that tracking, but we're on the other load. So we get the other load delivered. Was it yesterday? Am I empty right now? Yeah, no, day before yesterday. We get the load delivered. I shut down. We get another load. Everybody's trying to find me a load. And then some funny shit happens. Okay. We get this one load after all the. Okay. Let me slow down a little bit because y'all got to see these nuances in trucking. This is some bullshit. Okay. So everybody's throwing loads at me and all the other dispatchers are on up now, okay? Because I've been pushing people back. Hey, talk to me next week. No, I'm under a load, but they steady every day. You need a load? You need a load? Send me your MC number and your da 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 and da da da. No, shut up. I have a load, okay? I have a dispatcher. We're working on something right now, that kind of shit. We got constraints. I don't want to tell everybody the constraints, bunch of shit going on. But all the loads start coming through, and I got everybody on file trying to find me a load out of Washington because I need all hands on deck. So somewhere in here, dispatcher number one, who has been put on hold for this whole load, is back in the picture. And he knows the constraints. Of course, he wants to lecture me for going west instead of going the other way. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Okay. But I told him what was up. I didn't trust no load that you were giving me. And I know what's over here. I know how it is, and it is what it is. I'm going to go home, take some time off, and we're going to get this trailer down there to Laredo. Well, watch this tricky ass shit. Okay. Watch this tricky ass shit. So one dispatcher is just trying to find me anything. Okay. And I know that if I'm in here, two things are going to happen. It's Thursday. I need to get a load out of here by Friday to have it in the trailer before the weekend because that's going to be a problem. If I can't get a load, then what's going to happen for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is that I'm going to have to bounce around in these two states up here um, and try to just piecemeal the money together on short loads, what I want to make for those days, and then try to find something on Monday with a longer haul trying to get to where this trailer needs to be. So one driver is doing a little short, trying to find a little short shit, and the other guy knows that we have to get this trailer to Laredo, so he's looking for something that's going to get me back into the Midwest area so I'm closer to getting it down near to Texas. So he finds a load. um, and this load I think was paying 37. I think it's paying 3,700. I said, okay, that's a good start. And then he was another one he had that he was gonna try to get to back that one up was paying 27, and we would have been right where we needed to be, right where we needed to be. But the problem is that we already had a load on us that was a short load because we didn't have anything for Friday. We didn't have anything for Friday on Thursday, so got this little short load rather than not have anything. I said, yeah, because I need to move around. I had already looked at the load board to see that where I was going, there was no load. So I needed to move from that area. So yeah, let me take a short load and get somewhere positioned better, one of the bigger cities, if you would, and see if I could pick up a load. So I took the load, 100 and some odd miles empty, 200 and some odd miles loaded for a little bit of nothing, only paid for one fueling that I had already done. So we got that load that was set to be done yesterday. Pick up yesterday morning, deliver yesterday. Now, mind you, dispatchers are looking at loads. They send you loads so that you can determine whether or not you want them. But sometimes all the information and details are not there while they're booking the load. And if you book the load, then they send you the information, mind you, without the address, sometimes with some of the information, if they can tell you that up front, without the phone number and all of this. And once you accept it, then they send you the address, the pickup number. Sometimes they have phone numbers. A lot of times I haven't seen a phone number on the rate confirmation sheets, and other little nuances. Well, what happens here is that the load is supposed to deliver at 23:59 that night. But again, it's 100 miles, a little over 100 miles empty, 270 miles loaded. We pick it up at 9 in the morning, which means that I could actually be at the delivery spot about 3 o'clock. Actually, it ended up being I could have been there at 2:30. So dispatcher number one, who found this hell of a load over to Ohio and then looking for one going down to Laredo, picks up at 3 o'clock. Now, mind you, he sends one load over before he finds this one, and he's like, well, it picks up at 2. I said, we can't do that. I said, I have to be over here about 2 o'clock, because I thought it was a straight shot. Just, they said it was a straight through, so I thought it was a straight through. As soon as I get there, first come, first serve. Didn't know that it actually delivered at 23:59 that night. Okay, so my whole day is locked for some bullshit. All right. So anyway, I'm committed. I'm doing what I got to do. Okay, something's better than nothing on at this particular point because we're going to get in a better area again, right? So that load doesn't work. Then he finds this other one, like I said. This one picked up at 3. I said, all of this is going to be contingent on whether or not we can get this truck loaded, get moving, and get this load off, even though, you know, the next location is like 35 miles away. And this is like tight, but can you see if they can push that pickup time back? He asked on one, they said no, we had to find another load, and we were just going to try to make it. So I get the load. They load me in 45 minutes, which was outstanding. I got there early. They load me at 45 minutes after my appointment time. We get the load. We're moving. And then I say, let me call the delivery spot, which is not on the Raycom. So I had to look it up. Not on the Raycom. Um, and let's see if we, you know, first come, first serve, their process, whatever, whatever, right? And the first thing that this damn thing said was all the appointments, all the deliveries were by appointment. I said, appointment? And I looked back at the sheet, it said 23:59. I said, no, this can't be right. So I went on through the messages, and talked to somebody, and they said, yeah, your appointment is at 23:59. So now the load that we have booked going from Washington to Ohio is a done deal because we can't get there at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8. We can't do none of that shit. So we have to die on this load right here, right? We have to get rid of that load. All right. So we delivered the damn load. And as I'm sitting up last night looking to see what else I can get because I have to be where I need to be on Thursday, the whole board shuts down. Okay. And I'm a bitch that don't trust people. Okay. Like I saw and assumed, if nothing else, that my dispatcher and that one broker were in cahoots to do some shit. Well, I'm over here looking at some other people in cahoots, meaning the whole brokerage company, which is outrageous, um, are in cahoots to lock me out because I didn't wrote a letter. Okay, I made sure it was known. They CC'd me in that 30 thing email. Well, I CC'd them in a response to say exactly what happened so nobody could say it was anything other. And I thought in my mind, these motherfuckers pissed because I did that. Okay, so long story short, this is the challenges, some of the challenges that we have to go through with trucking because they're trying to get money off of how many loads you take. Brokers don't make that much. I mean, dispatchers don't make that much. Brokers trying to get them loads loaded, and they don't give a shit what you got to do because some of those loads weren't legal loads to run. Let's just put it like that. And then I'm new, and I thought I had to pay my dues when I first started driving. I thought 25 years would give me some damn credit. No, them niggas trying to bend me over, y'all. They trying to bend me over. So right now I'm actually sitting in the truck stop, taking a well-needed 34-hour break until Monday morning, trying to see if any loads pop up. I got to send out some more carrier packages, which is going to be hard because it's the weekend, to see if I can get approved with other companies. There are loads that go directly where I need to be, but because I don't have 3 months, my company is not 3 months old, does not have 90 days worth of running time, they're not going to pick me up, okay? Um, and I still got a 12-page contract to look at for one of these onboarding processes. But this is where I sit right now. I'm like, I ain't gonna say I'm a baby. I'm just gonna say I'm a Scorpio, and vengeance is ours, saith the Lord. The Lord, okay. They gonna fuck around, and I'm gonna go empty all the way home and say fuck it. And I'm trying not to do that, but that's where I sit right now because I feel like these niggas played me, tried to play me, and got mad when I wasn't really going for the play, you know. Um, and so what I'm finding is that little thing about I got a woman on the phone, a woman running, because one of the dispatchers even said that, well, what we offer is, and we can do this and we can do that, and even though I said no, I don't want to pick up another dispatcher, he's still selling the shit like I didn't say nothing. Like this one that called, right? The one in question. Um, he's offering his services, right? And they're offering it. on the phone as a cold call, unsolicited call, this, that, and the other, and they want you to decide and send them their send them your credentials immediately because they got somebody to work with you. Really? I didn't ask for nobody to work with me. How did y'all get my damn number? Oh, I forgot. It's public, right? So he calls and I'm telling him, no, I'm already working with several dispatchers. I don't want to pick up another dispatcher. Well, we can, offer blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. I don't want to pick up another dispatcher. Thank you very much. Well, I'm going to tell you that blah, 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 blah. And that. And I'm driving at the time. I'm like, these motherfuckers right here. Okay. And so he's like, I said, I have a dispatcher. Matter of fact, I have three. Okay. And he said, well, what are they charging? I said, I didn't want to tell him because they like trying to undercut each other. And that's the reason why the trucking industry has such a low rate. Okay. People moving loads that don't pay for anything, any of your expenses. I've seen loads that they say they moving for 23, 38, 65, 45, 28, whatever cents. I'm like, how in the fuck do you move a truck for 28 cents a mile? Who does that? Okay. But either way, um, so he's like, well, what are they charging you? And I'm like, I'm not getting ready to tell you because y'all go right to this shit. Well, what are they charging you? None of your goddamn business is what they charge me. Okay. And that's what I wanted to say. And I didn't say it that time. I think I said it another time. I told him none of your business. But on this one, he's like, what are they charging you? And I just chuckled. I said, I've been here before. The standard rate. Well, you can tell me, all this shit. And so I just said between 4 and 6%. Well, they're charging you 6%, so and we can da da da. And he just went off, and I'm sitting up here going, this nigga missed the fact that I said between 4 and 6%, which is okay, because I didn't got down to the 4% because somebody clued me in the process a few weeks ago that if they're charging you 6 to 8%, they charging you too much. It should be about 4%. So I'm looking for everybody with 4%, but I don't want to tell him because that's where everybody's standard is 4%. If they trying to get you, then you're looking at the 6, 7, 8, you know, and on another one, 12%. Was it 12%? Yeah, 12%. Okay. So anyway, I said 4 to 6%. He takes the 6% and just goes off. And I said, well, that's not the case. I'm not doing all of that stuff that you're talking about at 6%. Well, you said it was 6%. He started going off on me like people online and shit. I'm like, God damn. I said, I did not say 6%. I said, you said 6%. No, you said da 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 da. I said, what I said was, I'm not looking for another dispatcher. I said, but let me explain it to you this way. Okay. I think at some point I just give it up and say, yeah, he's 4%, right? And now here he go. Well, I think we can get you 3.5%. I said, here go this motherfucker right here, right? I said, but let me explain it to you this way. I said, I'm a motor carrier company and this is my truck. I said, and whoever works with me has to understand what it is that I'm looking for and accommodate the things that I'm asking them to do because it's my truck and it's my company. I said, and the fact that I have had to tell you 4 times the same thing until you know, and you still talking shows me what kind of relationship this is going to be. Get off my phone. Okay. And I didn't end it like that, but it was close to get the fuck off my phone. Okay. But that's the high pressure shit that I'm dealing with. Okay. It's like, and that's what you're dealing with. Hey, truth be told. And Gigi, I saw you down there. Um, that's the shit that I'm dealing with. It's like, oh my God, I've never met so many fucking telemarketers in all my life, and I can't fucking cuss them out because at the end of the day, I'm wondering if they're all in the same fucking office. All of them. Okay. You know, um, Let me give you another story that happened this week. Okay. Hey, okay. So let me give you another story. So the IFTA, y'all, let me tell you about fucking trucking. Okay. The IFTA. What is it? International Fist. I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know what it stands for. But basically, it's a road tax. Okay. and apportion plates and stickers, I don't know, all this fucking shit to be able to run up the road, right? And I could have swore up and down that I paid for this shit. If I didn't do it myself, I paid somebody to do it. But here's the deal. It's so that you can run in certain states. You have a permit. I have apportion plates so that I can run in different states, right? So I got my shit, my cab card, authorized for all the states and all that other shit. But there's two states that they don't participate in the IFTA, and that would be New Mexico and Oregon. Okay, so New Mexico, they require you to get a permit to run through their state. Okay, and it's not a lot. And as I was going through New Mexico, I did what I had to do because I was aware of that from running with other people that it had to be done. So we did that. Now, the first, and this is a longer story, so I'm gonna give you all three parts of it. So the first time I went through one, they pulled me in. I knew they were gonna pull me in because I'm new. Okay, and I bring my permit book in, and homeboy says he asked for my my documents and stuff. Um, and then he asked for a lease agreement. Mind you, my trucking company is on the side of my truck, not leased to anybody. Now this truck, the guy who used to run this truck and myself, we both worked at the same company. So this truck was on with the former company, and the only thing that's still on there is the 2025, 24, and 23 IFTA stickers that I didn't take off because my stickers were supposed to be in the mail and it was going to take them about 30 days to get here. So I didn't take them off, okay, because everything else is legal. And I didn't want them pulling me in just on the fact that that sticker wasn't on the side of the truck, okay? Paperwork is supposed to be in, and I'm supposed to be legal that we can pull this shit up. And I thought I had the form, and I didn't have that particular form. But either way, it's supposed to be in the mail, waiting for it to come, get back to Cali, pick it up, take these off, stick the other ones on. We good. Okay. So they pull me over, which New Mexico normally does, and I bring my permit in. And he says, do you you're supposed to have a lease. Do you have a lease? I said, why would I? I said, it's my truck, my trucking company. Why would I? And so I hand him my paperwork. And mind you, I only got a few pieces of paper to hand him. Okay. In my Bible, it's only a few they get to look at. So as I'm flipping through the Bible, don't nobody get triggered. As I'm flipping through the Bible, my Bible, I get him the forms that he needs to send a sheet protector, but he doesn't get to see everything because all my stuff is in there. I'm keeping it in one spot. And he's like, you want me to flip through it? No. Okay. Because there's a lot of shit in there. Okay. Shit you don't need to be looking at. Um, and I hand him the paper. I'm good. I'm legal. And I tell him that, we've already done the IFTA. It's just in the mail. Um, and he basically tells me, you need to pay for this permit. I'm good to go. Cool. Because it's in the system. I leave, roll around, have to go through New Mexico again. They pull me in. They ask for my IFTA. I'm looking. I'm like, where the fuck is my IFTA? Okay, it's on my phone. I think she sent it to me. I look on there. At the heading, it says IFTA. But what ain't in there is what I need to show them. Because I can show it to them on my phone. That's what happens out here sometimes when they delay in giving you your IFTA. If you have a copy of it on your phone, it works. So I was like, oh shit. Maybe it's in my other folder, my other paperwork that's in the truck. Let me go and get it printed out. Let me call them and make sure, different things that was going on. Come to find out, I ain't got no goddamn IFTA. I'm like, I called the lady who's supposed to be doing it, and she says, let me go and look X, Y, and Z. Then she calls me back, says, I can't get in there because it has to be your code and all this other stuff. She said, can you go in and go in there and, then we'll go from there. So I call IFTA up. They go in there. They have no motherfucking record of me at all. Not my EIN, not my social, not my driver's license, not my MC, not my USDOT, not my California's MPC number, nothing. Okay, not my address, not my nothing. Okay, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm ready to go off, right? I'm ready to go off. So I call her back like, what the hell is going on? Because I paid y'all to do this. This is something that was supposed to been done. Can you see what's going on here? So she had an IFTA friend, and basically they did my IFTA right then. We had to go back in there and do a clean IFTA that didn't start in May when I started. It starts in June. I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do as far as the taxes? I've been running for a week and a half. Okay. And that's what that's for. Well, you don't have to pay that if you don't want to. What do you mean I don't have to pay that? Is this how people get away with shit in trucking? Is this why the industry's so fucked up? Either way, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay. All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So we get that done. I take off. I'm like, that's some bullshit. I'm like, I'm hot. And mind you, I done bought a printer in here. The printer worked the first day and then they don't want to work with shit no more. Okay. Not even with the printer cable. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with this bitch. I'm about to throw it out, but I threw the box out so I can't take it back. Anyway, we move on up. The second state is Oregon. Now, Oregon, you have to have this permit before you enter the state. And you have to tell them what route you're taking, kind of like New Mexico as well. You have to tell them what route you're taking. So as I'm taking this load in there, I know that we have to do this. You know, bigger companies, you don't even have to worry about it because they just pay for it all at one whop under an account and all this shit, right? This one you get a 10-day pass, which I don't know why you would get a fucking 10-day pass to run a particular route. Like if I say I'm going from I-5 from the lowest part of Oregon to the I-5, the top part of Oregon, um, unless you got 5 loads or whatever that for that week going up and down I-5, why would you need a 10-day pass for the same route? But each route you need, when you change to it, you need another damn pass because you're on a different highway. And if you get caught on a different highway without a pass saying that you was gonna be on that highway, that's a problem. I'm like, this bullshit, right? So I'm hitting the northeast corner of Oregon, going from Idaho out to Washington, Hempstead, Washington. Okay, 84, 82, that route. I want to say it's about 247 miles, but I'm not sure on that. So I start calling before I get to the state because if I wait too long, they're going to be closed, right? So I call a number that says that it's this Oregon trucking shit, right? The woman that answered, I could tell she had just got up out the bed. We know what that sounds like. She had just got up. I said, this, okay. This is what I'm looking for, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be going from here to here on this, that part. Northwest corner, coming in from the Idaho side, leaving out on the Washington side. Well, what highway is that? And mind you, I'm driving at the time that I'm doing this, okay? Um, how many miles is that? And don't you know? Okay. It already should be locked in what it is. So anyway, um, she looks it up, she finds it, and then she tells me it's gonna cost me $200. $200 for approximately 247 miles. I want y'all to think about that. Okay. And I'm like, I don't remember this other person. I don't remember her paying that much for. Okay, so I said, I'll tell you what, I got to get up the road so that I can get, basically get my credit card out and all this other stuff. And, I said, I'm going to have to pull over. So let me call you back. I pushed the shit off. Let me call you back when I get pulled over. And then I started looking for other numbers to call, just to, I think I tried to call the number back, but eventually I'm trying to find the official Oregon State permit part, right? And they've went digital that you can do this shit online. This system is up, all this bullshit. And so you got to find that and got to be pulled over, to enter all this information. So all that was coming into play. But I just really wanted to talk to somebody so they could take it over the phone. We could get it done. They could send it to my email and I'm good to go en route. Or they could tell me how to do this damn portal that they have. So I'm scrambling. I'm driving. Okay, and I'm also going through an inspection station at the same fucking time. At one particular point, it was like three of us. We were on this two-lane highway. We were going through this one spot, and they popped up an inspection station. Everybody got to pull in. The dude that I was trying to get around, I had already got around the second guy, but the other dude in the front, he saw the inspection station and just kept going. It was a weigh station. He kept going. They wasn't weighing shit. Okay, they was checking credentials. He kept going, but he didn't see the highway patrol that was going in the opposite direction. As soon as he missed the spot, the pop-up inspection station, that officer turned right around and pulled him over. I said, "Oops, gotcha." Okay. Me and the other guy, we pulled on in there. It was a camper, a mobile home that pulled in there before me, and then it was myself and then the other dude. And it's like, Miss Phillips, can I see your license, this, that, and the other? And I jumped, got out the seat, pulled my license out, gave it to him. He was real nice. And when we got to the front, he said, just pull forward. I said, oh, and he had my license. He said, just pull forward up there. And so I pulled forward. He gave me my license back. He said, do you have any other questions? I said, yes. How do I get these damn Oregon permits? And I didn't say it like that, but how do I get these damn we get these damn permits? So he's like, yeah, you gotta have the permit. Call them up. They close at this particular time. Blah 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 blah. That should be, no problem. Whatever, whatever. So he helped me with that, and my sister also helped me because she's like, did you call the Highway Patrol or State Department? Which I forgot that all those numbers are in my map book, my motor carrier map book. So one of the numbers that I had called, and I could have swore it was that number, they put me on hold and said they were going to call back, which they never did. Okay, I was in line to get a call back. They never called back. I went to the map book, found out that that number was another number that I called that I couldn't get through on at the time, but that was the official number. So I called that number. Nice gentleman get on the phone, nice as fuck. Tell him my situation. He runs the shit down. He puts all my information in, yada yada. Tells me it costs $63. Okay, I pay that shit, and then I say, the other person that I was talking to said it was gonna be $200. I want y'all to hear me now. The heifer that got up out the bed told me it was gonna be $200. The official for Oregon Trucking said, and all they were gonna do was the same thing that you just did. They were gonna take your money and call us and have us do the same stuff that I just did for you. $63 is what it costs versus the 200 she was trying to scam me off of. This is your trucking industry today. Okay, I ain't gonna tell you how many times I done paid more than what I'm supposed to pay and still trying to find out what the fuck I paid for. Okay. Um, so we got that done, and then I had to get another one coming back, going a different route. That bitch cost me $63 as well. So I'm sitting right here because I don't know which direction I'm gonna go in to know what permit I'm gonna need to get. But those are a couple of the things that goes on in the trucking industry on this side. And like I said, I was talking to my sister. I said, has trucking always been like this? And she said, yeah, we just didn't see it on our side. And with the new regulations, if you would, from people doing shit. And back in the day when my sister was there, she was like, you're doing a great job, V, because um, when it comes to her day, mind you, she's been out here is like twice as long as I've been out here. She's like, it's get insurance, motor carrier authority, blah, 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 whatever it is, load, whatever, you good to go. Now you got to like at least 8 to 9 things that you have to be in compliance with. Okay. And, it has to be in your file. But then when people go looking for shit, the shit ain't there because I think you got other people that's third party interlopers that's in the middle of this that either are or are not doing their damn job. Oh yeah, highway robbery for sure. Okay. Matter of fact, one called me and said that my uh which compliance was this? He said was it my driver files? The consortium that sent me an email said that I was in violation, threatening violation for not being in compliance with these consortium things that we have. And I'm like, who the fuck is this? And why wouldn't I be? Because I I have that service. It's in my Bible, to say that I have that service. And so I went out on a limb and talked to him. And it's the whole threat, the scare tactic of you might not be in compliance or you're not in compliance. We don't see X, Y, and Z, and you know, we can make sure that you're in compliance because we offer this service. And do you want to sign up? And I'm like, um, I'm in compliance or something like that. I said. He said, well, do you have this? And do you? He started going down the list of these 8, 9 things that need to be done, and I'm like, hold up. So you saying that my Bach 3 isn't in? Which is one of the first things you have to do. And he's like, well, I don't actually know. I don't see it. Well, let me have your this, that, and the other. And oh yeah, there it is right there. I hadn't, bitch. And all it was to get some quick money to make you fearful that you're not in compliance with the things that you need to be in compliance for. And I've received that with ELD logs. I received that with insurance. Matter of fact, the insurance company called me and said they wanted to see if they could get me a better rate. And I told them, I said, I'm not in the market for any insurance. I have insurance. Well, I'm not calling you to sell you insurance. Well, bitch, why are you calling me? Because it sounds like you trying to sell me insurance. Well, honey and darling and all this. If you don't get the fuck off my phone, okay? Every single thing that I'm dealing with as far as this trucking company, I have to deal with 2, 3, 4, 5 times over because there is no stop button from these telemarketers in this industry trying to sell you shit and get shit. Like I said initially, before we even got out on the road, it was one guy that they said the first initial process was he paid $1,200 or $1,500 for something that he was only supposed to pay three for. Or people who get um, go with people to do certain things and they start the process but don't follow up or they don't do what they need to do. They just grab the money and run and leave you high and dry. That's happening to people out here in the industry. What's the other one? What did she tell me? I think I asked one of them, I said, do you actually work for the official company? Well, no, we're a TP, whatever he said. I said, I said, third party? Okay, you gonna say TP, so I didn't recognize it, but you a third party talking about that you, oh, and then aside from that, people calling you talking about I'm your dispatcher. Who selected you? How did that happen? I'm your processing agent. Really? Did who? What? This is the most confusing motherfucking industry that I done seen in my goddamn life. Let me give you another one on insurance, because we got that one working. I done bought all my insurance. Okay, got a pretty good deal. Been running for a week and a half. And one of my dispatcher number 2, had the nerve to tell me, I'm going to give you the 3, 4 things that he told me and let you know up front that with these things, it gets you into a bag in your mind of um, not fear, but concern that you're not compliant. It's a fear tactic, okay? It's like if they offer you a good load, check this out. If they offer you a good load and you're like, yeah, that'll work, and then you're excited about it, and then they call you back after 10, 20 minutes and say, oh, we didn't get that load, it's a big ass letdown. Okay, so the same is true when they get you a load or looking to get you a load and they come back and say, you haven't had your authority long enough. Bitch, I know that, you know that, why'd you call them? Okay, if you know that you got to have 90 days longevity, then you should have found that out before you offered me a fucking load, suggested a goddamn load, and made me go through this process to put somebody else on hold who could have been getting me a load because they know I'm a new MC. Okay, so that's two of the ones that have happened. The other one was let me see, insurance. Here's the load, and this is dispatcher number 2. Okay, that I ain't even gonna say he gonna be fired. Okay, they're deselected, but the other one was insurance. Well, do you have X, Y, and Z? And I'm not going to tell you what it is, but do you have X, Y, and Z? And I'm like, yes. Well, he's saying that he don't see it on there. Okay, well, I'm driving right now. I can't show you where it is or any of that stuff, but I've been running for a week and a half, and now you're saying that I don't have something that I actually have. Okay. Well, they didn't just select you because of age issue, insurance issue, this kind of bullshit, trailer issues. And it's all in a matter for you to think, I got to take whatever comes rather than what you really need or what's best for you for revenue because they keep, you know, well, you're not good enough. You're not this enough. You're not that enough. Da, 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 da. So you would take any little shit that they give you. And it happened. Okay? Because I got this little bitty ass load that one wasn't legal to drive for what the appointment time and the pickup time was. Okay? Two, that locked up your whole damn day. Okay? And again, when I go to look at a particular load board and that bitch is gone, I ain't got access to it anymore. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So these are my challenges right now. Okay? Because like I said, I'm a Scorpio. I'm me. At the end of the day, I will drive this bitch all the way back to California. Okay? I actually looked for where I am to Laredo to see if it was even feasible. I said, no, I ain't gonna do that. But I would drive this bitch back to California if they think they're gonna have me sitting here next week until Wednesday or Thursday. Because again, Thursday I start having to pay $100 a day for this trailer. Okay? And I'm probably gonna have to eat that trying to get back because these niggas been playing with me. Um, this week, and they think that I don't see the play. Let me give you another one that happened. Okay, I give you another one that happened from dispatcher number two. In the midst of trying to find me a load up out of here, he finds this one load, and they say because of longevity, I can't run it. This motherfucker said, "Do you have a friend with an older MC?" And I just came straight back. I said, "I'm not doing that." Okay, I know people do it. I get it. I get it. In the real world of trucking, but just like when I first started driving, show me how it works and I'll make my adjustments later on. Don't sit up and try to get me to run illegal, undercover, questionable, and all this other shit. Because at the end of the day, how am I gonna run a how am I gonna run a load? And I know it's a way to do it, but how am I gonna run a load under somebody else's MC when my motherfucking MC numbers are on the side of my goddamn truck? I'm not leased to them. See, California came out with this thing where, you know, if you are if you have your own truck and your own company and you want to run under somebody else, they have to do a W-2 for you or a W-9, whatever the shit is. They have to take out, you have to be kind of like as an employee up under them. That's for California because that's what these motherfuckers were doing. And it's fucked up. I know a lot of people are actually sitting right now because of the new changes that are happening, whether that's the language thing, okay, the you can't get up under nobody else's MC thing without doing X, Y, and Z. I'm not getting ready to do that shit. And let me also say, let me get into here right here. Um, the Oregon official, the permanent official, he said, yeah, a lot of that scamming shit is coming out of California. I was like, God damn. Okay. Let me show you how bad that bitch is. I got my truck registered because you got to get it. You got to do your initial thing with the DMV. I did that shit. Dropped thousands of dollars because of the weight and the type of vehicle and all this shit, and then turned around and they said California got you because you were supposed to do that over here. Some of the people don't know what they're doing. You're supposed to do that over here, and then I had to drop damn near the same amount over there for the apportionment tax. So I got two license plates. Okay. Now the only good thing about that is that and it really doesn't matter with me because I have my own interstate plates and then I have my state plates, okay? My apportionment plates and then my regular plates. So I have my trucking plates on here. My other ones are stashed away. But I got the ones that are stashed away because what they had told me, what one of the people had told me before, and it was the guy that I had got the truck from. Because when he got the truck, um, when he sold the truck to me, he had to take our former company's plates off. Okay. And what he told me was that if you run under a company, let's say that company, I live in California, say that company is in Tennessee. Okay. You running for this company, you decide, I don't want to run for you. You get, terminated, y'all sever y'all ties, whatever the case is. They take all they decals off and their license plate, and because you up under their shit, you don't have your own plates or any of this stuff. So guess what happens? You can't move your truck. Okay, like if you don't have your own insurance, you don't have your own plates, you don't have your own MC numbers and all that. When they take their shit, you can't move your truck. So that's the reason why I got the state plates, because if my first thing was to go up under some company, you know, just put my tractor on with them and run loads for them. Um, and then to have those plates in case anything happened where I didn't like it, they could have their plates. I stick my plates on, and I move from point A to point B to find another company to come under. And what tore my ass with that? Okay, how they tore their ass with that is that when I was inquiring about that, and this is where the 12% comes in, 10%, 12%, whatever percentage they were talking about for all the shit that they do. They started talking about, hey, yeah, you have to pay for our here are all your fees, not the 4%, okay, or 6%, but it's let's just say $80 a month for our ELD system, which is electronic logging device. You have to put a camera in there as well for their insurance. One dude told me I had to pay his insurance and my insurance. I said, why? Okay. And if I have my own ELD system, why do I have to use yours? Because they got a safety department that evaluates all the damn ELDs. Okay, I get that. But why am I paying for it? I'm just saying, But anyway, and they're like $80 a month. $80 a month for a year? I'm paying for your whole fucking service. Because I can tell you how much mine costs for the year. Okay. And I did that. I paid it for the year. So it's not coming out monthly, that I don't have to worry about that fee on a monthly basis as far as my static expenses. But he said I had to pay my insurance and his insurance, and I think his insurance was $300 a week, and mine is $1,700 a month. Okay, so y'all figure that shit out. Why am I paying y'all insurance? Okay, and so that's why I didn't go with that program, because it seemed shady, to me. And the reason why I went on and went full owner operator is so that I could have the control and not be played like people can play you. For example, I used to work for this one company. We shut the whole fucking terminal down as lease operators. We shut the whole goddamn terminal down because they was doing shady shit. Okay. Um, damn, what was the story behind that one? Uh, there's a few stories in there. They were doing some shady shit. We shut the whole terminal down, but it was like, um, you buck against them, they don't give you loads. Okay, fuck with your income. They don't give you loads. And that was when they were doing lease trucks, where you run for them and you pay them, just different departments of the same company. So the dispatching side say, oh, you don't like the way we doing stuff? We're not going to give you loads. But on the other side, you still got people saying, hey, you owe us this week. You owe us this week. You got to pay this. Okay. And that irritates the fuck out of drivers, okay, for what they're going through in there. Um, the other one was, I turned my truck in, and then they charged my truck for new tires for a truck that had one number different from mine, one of my friend's trucks. I was like, wow, y'all did that? Well, it ain't on me, it's on the company, because y'all did that after I turned the truck in. I didn't need no new tires. I took pictures of the whole fucking truck. I didn't ask for no new tires. The other one, when I got tired of their bullshit at that particular company, I said, you know what? Take me out of this dedicated loop. I'm going to go out on the road and take my chances. And they said, well, you need to come in over here so we can, there's something that needs to be worked on your truck. Mind you, I'm leasing the truck from them. So I took the truck in and, took my little time off while the truck was in there and came and picked up my truck. My satellite no longer worked, which means I could go in certain areas, different markets, and nobody could see me coming. Okay. And because I didn't have a relationship with them, I'd have to immediately create a relationship to see if I could get a load out of there. But they couldn't see me coming into their area. They couldn't see me leaving, picking up a load or anything. And that was done by the mechanics and the dispatchers to make sure that I was fucked up when I went out there. Okay, I found that out. But we shut that whole terminal down because then they were skimming off the top of the POs and all this other shit. Um, you know, And that's what that one dude told me. He said, "Hey V, if you know what they doing to you, you can sue the hell out of them. But how do you sue a person when you barely making the money you need to make? You living in your damn truck or partially living in your truck, and because you in it so much, and these people that you supposed to sue are in three different states. You in one state, this part is in another state, and that part is in another state. Okay, this is some of the stuff that you have to deal with when you're dealing with trucking. My only advantage is that I didn't come into this barely making it into it. I bought my truck. I was able to pay for everything. So they don't have that leverage. He tried it. Oh, your insurance isn't this and your this isn't that and that. Bitch, stop it. Okay, but this is what I'm dealing with, and I can't get out now. I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. Okay, to do what I need to do. But man, this motherfucking shit is challenging. Okay, um, what'd you say? Yeah, resident agent address. Drink of. Okay, you say it's the whole tennis racket. Okay, um, damn, what's the other one? It was something else I had just thought of too. Yeah, this. Oh, I told a friend of mine. I said, with dealing with these dispatchers, I said, y'all might find this funny. I said, I understand why men are polygamous now. Okay. I said, it's like these dispatchers. You get a bunch of dispatchers hoping that one to treat you right. And I'm gonna let y'all let that sink in. Yeah, because that's exactly what this shit is like. Okay. Hoping one is gonna treat you right that ain't gonna treat you foul. I understand, brothers. I understand. I understand. Okay. It's just business. Whew. This is an education for your ass right here, okay? But in this, I can't allow anybody else to sit up in here and run the truck and go through this shit because just think about this issue right here, okay? Think about this. When the dispatcher or when the broker said that your dispatcher is rude, did you negotiate for 20 days? You wanted to keep this trailer for 20 days, and he said it's 20 days, and all this miscommunication shit that was going on. Imagine if it was a driver in that truck. When the other broker said, you don't have this particular coverage insurance. Imagine if it was a driver in this truck that was running and his livelihood, his family depended on it. And these motherfucking brokers and dispatchers are saying shit like this. Me, I know what I got. Okay. I mean, I'm so tempted to, I'm so tempted that when they call me on one end, I say my name is one thing and hold on. Let me get the call my driver and then hang up the phone and then answer it and pretend like I'm somebody else even though I'm one and the same. I'm tempted to do that shit. Okay. I'm tempted because these motherfuckers they got me twisted. But right now I got to get a second phone. Okay. Yeah. As soon as I get back, I'm gonna end up getting a second phone so that we can fix some of this shit because man, my phone is fucked up. My email is fucked up because that's the only number I have. And it's like, if y'all call me, and I know none of you right here have my phone number or anything, but if y'all call me and I don't answer, there is a reason why I'm not answering the phone for you. Okay. Um, but some of this tracking shit, I got to put on another phone. Some of these multiple calls that's coming through, they need another fucking phone number. Okay. Because it is ridiculous. I have this thing that if you call me and I don't answer the phone, don't call me right back. My family knows. Don't do that shit because either I'm busy, I can't answer the phone, or I don't want to answer the phone and I'll get to you when I can. But this back to back, I'm going to make you pick up. That's what some of these dispatchers are doing. And this this one morning I was picking this load up. He told me about this goddamn load. And I said, "Yeah, we'll do that, blah blah blah." Okay. And I said, I'm getting up out the bed. I haven't fully gotten up yet. We just talking back in the back as far as what's going on for the day and how things are going. And so when he said we had this load, I immediately got up and started pre-tripping my truck. I literally had put my pants on, stepped up, um, to start looking at this funky ass trailer that I didn't want. And then I get the phone call from the broker. Okay. And the broker, he goes over what the load is. That's cool. He says, here's the load assignment. I understand that. Cool. Okay. You're in this city. I said, I think I'm in this name city, but technically it was the one he named. I said, as far as I know, I'm in this city. We kind of chuckled about that. But I was like 5 miles, 7 miles, 9 miles, something like that away. Okay. So I would be there shortly. And I think the load picked up at 9 o'clock. And I had told my broker it was 6:30. It was around 6:30. I said, go ahead and find out, X, Y, and Z, but I need to know no later than 7:15. Okay. He said, okay. We got off the phone. I stepped out. Let me do the pre-trip so that when it's time to go, I'm already ready to go. As soon as I step out the truck, the phone calls start coming in, right? So the broker is like, how soon can you get there? The appointment is at 9 o'clock and I don't have an address. You just, I don't have the address. It's right here in the same city, but I don't have the address. So he gives me the address, this, that, and the other. So then I think at the same time the dispatcher was sending me over the address in a text message. But mind you, he called while I'm on the phone with the other dude. He texted while I'm on the phone with the other dude, and we just got off the phone. And then he calls again. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. So I get off the phone with the broker, talk to the dispatcher, and I was like, I was on the phone at the time. You can't, if I don't answer, don't call me right back. Okay. There's something going on. It ain't gonna make me answer the phone any sooner. He said, well, how soon can you get there? I said, I don't know. You just sent me the address and I ain't looked at it yet. So he chuckles, but this is the push that's going on in this bitch. Okay. I'm like, I see why Dick Simon did what they did back in the day. You motherfuckers crazy. Okay. Let me take this down off the screen. Okay. Shit, where is that at? Okay, I guess it's over here. Let me move that off the screen. But these are some of the things that I have dealt with this week, or these 2 weeks. This is a well-deserved break, and I know I haven't been up here, doing anything, reading anything, because I was like, I need every ounce of fucking strength I have right now to do this. Okay, this is challenging, but it's fun. I told some people, I said, this thing with trucking is like a video game. And I was telling my oh my God, okay, tunnel vision, and they think that the little that a inch on the map you can get there as soon as that that it's just right across the street and shit. Um, yeah, so we're for this second week going into this, I'm trying to find an option that works best with me with less stress than I'm dealing with. Um, Also, in the midst of this, while all this shit was going on, we had an emergency situation where we could not find one of my daughters, and they were saying that she was possibly threatening to unalive herself in the midst of all of this. And in that moment, I realized how strong I was in all of this because I had to stay sane, and I did. Because these dispatchers and stuff have already shown me how they want to take you off of out of your sanity, if you would, the same way that some of these people on these channels try to take you away from common sense, level-headedness, and all of that shit. And so, on one end, I kind of want to thank some of y'all for the examples that y'all have put out here. We going off in the chat and shit and saying shit. It's just a matter of keeping sane on some of this stuff and not falling for the bullshit. Okay. But she's fine. Okay, she's absolutely fine. What you say? You used to run a courier joint, had a cargo van, and I used their 24-foot truck. Got you. My modified job after neck injury. Got you. Got you. Yeah, so it's been challenging. There was a bookload that would got me real close to where I needed to be, but because of these K rails, they wouldn't take us. I couldn't take the load. Okay, so this man has cost me some money. Um, you know, and it's sad because the brokers that I'm dealing with is one of the companies that'll pick me up as a new carrier, and I can't cuss them out. Okay, but and some of them don't deserve to be cussed out. It's just that one and that situation and how the stuff played. The rest of them has been great. Give you another little funky story. So last night we had to deliver this one load and they required a lumper, right? Lumper didn't cost much, but I already know from some things I've heard before. Don't pay the lumper and have the broker pay the lumper because that's what they're there for, right? And then you had to chase your money down on another end. But either way, they don't. Some of these places don't have you take a check in there and get codes and all of this stuff. You do it all electronically or digitally. So I had to call the company to get a money code so that I could give it to the lumper company so that they could finalize my bills and give my bills to me after they load it. So they'll call you or they'll send you a text and then they'll call you and then um, I think they send you another text and then they'll call you and release something. It's like three phone calls, three different connections that you have to make with them, and don't move until the last one. So I fell asleep last night, and I got the text message. Then they ended up calling, asking me if I had paid the lumper. So I was like, had paid for the lumper service, or to remind me, right, that my bills were ready after I paid the lumper service. So I had to call the broker last night, the brokerage company last night, and ask them for the money code to put into this app so that we could get this paid and I can get the bills. So they gave me the code, but they didn't tell me who the code was for. If it was for Fleet, if it was for EFS, if it was for Com Data, they didn't tell me who it was for. And this is my first one with this company. And I've dealt with them before. It's been a while since I had to deal with them. I don't know if it was EFS, Com Data, whatever fuck, or if it was just straight money code that was down there. So it's some options. So I put it in the money code, invalid number. I put it in the EFS, invalid number. I put it in the Fleet, invalid number. All this shit. I put it in Com Data. Something else popped up. It said it asked for my unit number and my driver ID. Mind you, nobody at this broker company has assigned me a driver ID. My driver ID is what I selected for whatever I selected it for. It has nothing to do with them, right? So I'm like, well, I know it's not going to be that because I've never shared that with them, what my particular driver ID is for my company. And they've never assigned me a driver ID. And technically, they might not even know what my unit number is, but they know my company name. Okay. So I put, I think I put my truck number in. And I said, no, that's not going to work. That's stupid. Let me call him. So I call him, and this brother gave me the money code. Okay. We verified it. When I call back, I get a sister, a lady, not one of us, but a sister. And when I read the code off to her, she says the code is wrong. I said, hold on a second. Let me get my glasses. So I get my glasses. I read the number off to her. She reads the number back off to me like I just read the. I said, that's what I just told you. Never mind. Okay, we get past that. I said, well, they're asking for, also in here, they're asking for a unit number and um, a driver ID. This heifer told me I need to call my dispatcher at 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, to ask him what my driver ID is. What the fuck is she talking, bitch? I was like, um, I don't know what exactly I told her, but at some point I said, can you put X, Y, and Z back on the phone? Okay. Because she swore up and down that this is the way the shit goes. And I'm like, my dispatcher don't. No, I told her, be honest. I said, my dispatcher has went home for the weekend and he ain't answering the phone. Okay. And that he don't know any of this stuff right here. Y'all supposed to know this shit. How to fill this stuff out. It's y'all shit. Y'all paying for it. And she said something on a I don't know shit. I said, can you get me to, and I ain't gonna mention the guy's name, but can you get me back over to homeboy that gave me the numbers so that he could tell me what to do? And when I talked to him, he said, yeah, put 0 in for both of them. How in the fuck this heifer don't know put a zero in for both of them? But she's supposed to be on the board that's dealing with this damn load. Bunch of bullshit. Bunch of bullshit. Okay. Um. Yeah. So it's crazy. I was gonna show you guys some of the load board, but I'm thinking better of it now. Because it is an active load board. Um. And I'll probably have to do that in a private meeting because my daughter, she was like, "Mom, give me access to your load board. Let me take a look at it." I said, "Yeah, beautiful. Okay, yes, then take a look at it. Okay." So I might have to do that in a private one because the details are there. And then also, at one point when on that Ohio to Texas load, I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna have to get my nephew and have him come on and ride with me." So keep on fucking with me. I'm getting ready to put my nephew on my company so that when I'm in Texas, he can run this bitch. Okay, we can run this bitch. Since y'all want to play, let's play. Okay, let's play. But watch, when I do that shit, suddenly there gonna be no Texas loads. It's gonna be Texas out of state, Texas over here, Texas. You won't be back until 3 weeks from now and shit. Watch the bullshit come up. Okay, because it's like I don't know if it's the universe, karma, or these motherfuckers that anything to disrupt you or throw an obstacle up there, they would love to do, as long as they get their money. Yeah, definitely playing with the house money. You just say fired. These motherfuckers, right? Yeah, boy. Okay. What's the other one? Oh, the one I like is some of these dispatchers get with you, and you pay them 4%. Okay. Check this out. See if y'all can catch this nuance. Okay. So you pay them 4%, 4 to 6%, sometimes 8, whatever the case is, right? A hot dozen, huh? Man, it's one that I want to get with because I like their loads, but I need 3 months. Um, and then there's uh, a couple that I recognize from before. Haven't really contacted them because I think they might need the same thing. There's one who hauls bricks. That's that 12 page contract that I need to look at and send back in. That I'm gonna do, before I go to work on Monday or whatever. Um, but here's another one. Let's go with the factoring shit, right? So I didn't know. I wasn't even thinking about all this shit when I started. Okay, I was like, I got some money to run. I'm gonna run. The money gonna come through, and then we going X, Y, and Z, right? And somehow factoring came up in here. The load board came up in here, just like ELDs came up in here, just like cameras. All this stuff that comes into play, right? And fuel cards, that kind of shit. But the factoring, I have a factoring company. That means that I can get paid faster, than, the 20, 15, 20, 30, 45 days cycle that people have to pay you out, right? So I deliver the load, send the shit over to my factoring company. My factoring company pays me and then goes after the money on the back end. I'm done with the load. I don't have to check back on them 15 days from now, 17, 18 days from now when they decide they missed the payment or whatever the case. That's what the factoring company does. Now, some of these dispatchers, one, are not working under any type of contract, which some people say that some of these dispatchers are fraudulent. They just want the money and that's all it is because they can get in the game on some knowledge but not official. Like brokers have to have broker's license. Some of these dispatchers don't have to have broker's license, okay, or any of that shit. But anyway, no contract, right? You said they got credit. Okay. So yeah, we got to check the brokerage credit and all that other stuff. Yeah, that part. So so some of these dispatches, and I know some of y'all may be dispatchers out there, y'all can type in the chat and just, say what the fuck y'all want to say. Okay. I'm not saying all of y'all like this, but this is what I'm looking at. So they say 4 to 6%, 8%, whatever it is, and they send you an invoice at the end of the week. You pay it, out of your revenue. They don't take it out of the load, okay? Because you contracted for the load, they contracted to find you a load, you pay them for their services, blah blah blah. Everything's cool. That's why I didn't want brokers signing. I'm sorry. That's why I didn't want dispatchers signing my rate com, because you don't need to be in the midst of that as far as that's concerned. I'm obligated for this. You can walk away, get a new phone number, and say, I don't give a fuck what happens with the load. Okay. It's on me. I got the biggest responsibility in this. So they send you an invoice at the end of the week. One of them I asked, I said, because we never discussed it, I said, how do you get paid? He said, I get paid when you get paid. I'm like, how in the fuck do you get paid when I get paid? I mean, that was my whole thought. How do you get paid when I get paid if when I deliver the load, I'm sending it to my factoring company and you're not even a thought, blood clot. I'm just saying, you're not even a thought. How you get, okay. So when he was saying, send me over the bills, I understood how he got paid. He was trying to get it in there before me. I said, oh, okay, I got you, nigga. I said, I got you. I said, I got you. I got you. I got you. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to send the stuff to my factoring company like I'm supposed to. I'm going to send it to myself in a CC, and then I'm going to CC your ass in it too. At the end of the day, by the time you got it, they already got it. And you the last man standing. You can get paid when I get paid. Okay? Yeah, you surely can. I'm going to get paid tomorrow. When you getting paid? Okay? Either way, I still like when they send me the invoice because I pay that little shit and gone. This first week of dispatching with my main dispatcher, that shit costs $167. Imagine how hard you got to work. If he worked that hard to get me a load for that week, okay? If if he worked that hard to get me those loads for the week, and out of those loads he got me, he only made $167. Think about how hard he got to work to get them loads. Think about what corners that he'll cut. Even you got any friends with an older MC just to get that money in his pocket. They don't give a fuck about you. You have to give a fuck about you. Okay? You know, you got to cover see why your ass. Okay? All right. No problem, should be told. Um, so that's one of the things that I like, that, an invoice is sent out. I pay them. I'm done with it. My revenue is my revenue. My expenses are my expenses. And trying to keep everybody's hands out my pocket, not out my pocket, but out the goddamn pot. Okay? Because like on social media where everybody gets in there and starts stirring up bullshit, too many hands in the pot spoil a good soup. Okay, yeah. Um, so that's one of the things. But the other part of that factoring part was I had people that were, some of these folks don't think that I had factoring. So that's why they're like, send me the bills. Okay. Send me the proof of delivery when you get it. Why? The Raycom says that I send that shit to the people, to the brokerage company. My factoring says I send that to them. How'd you get in the mix of this? Okay. And so I had to sidestep that shit in the midst of all this as well. I mean, it wasn't a lot of money, but at the same time, yeah, technically it wasn't any money for the most part, because one of them lows he only made like $13 to $18 off of it. Okay. But he really invested for $13 and $18. I can understand why he called me every day. I told one dude, don't call me until next Monday or Tuesday. He I got a text message, y'all. Check this bullshit out. I got a text message. And it said, you didn't give me your husband's name. I'm like, what the fuck? I ain't married. Okay. I said, what the? And I looked at it. I said, wrong number. He said, oh, ma'am, I'm sorry. How are you today? Do you need a load? Mind you, this is the motherfucker that I told don't call me until next week. Okay. And he immediately started in with the sales pitch. I said, was that a fucking tactic for you to get back on the board with me? Okay. So it's a lot of things out here that I'm finding are blind. And then there's a lot of bullshit out here. And I'm just trying to find this happy little, I'm trying to find the sweet spot. I don't know how long it's going to take me to find the sweet spot. Okay. But that's where I want to be, because the thing about it, me having to write this letter the way that I wrote this letter and come at them the way that I came at them, that is not how I deal with folks. Because at the end of the letter, I told them, I said, I do not operate nor approve of these type of tactics. Okay. Because I told him, I said, that he pressured me into taking that trailer. okay, and then did this stuff while, I let him know. While I'm talking, he's talking. He's throwing all this stuff in here. I said he caused dissension in the ranks. I said communication is the key to a great partnership at the end of that letter. But I don't have to do, you know, for me to have to do that. And I told him, and that what made this correspondence necessary, that y'all needed to know what was going on. Okay. And I didn't say what was going on, but that's what made this correspondence necessary. Okay. Because you can look at the 33 damn messages and see that I wasn't in any of them. I ain't got to lie. Okay. And then after I sent the message, sent the letter, the next day he gonna send me 10 loads that I could possibly take. And the load that I was on was the one that was at the bottom of it highlighted, but they didn't know where I was. But that one wasn't even set for a solo driver. Bullshit going on in the works, okay? Um, but the way that I operate is, any of these people who are talking to me and they're dealing with me above board, courteously, politely, professionally, they're not gonna get bullshit from me. But when you start doing shit, y'all know how I operate up here. My ass will snap in a minute, okay? But I can't afford to snap on these niggas. It is so fucking frustrating because at the end of the day, if I can't snap, I'm hanging up the phone on you. I'm done, okay? But they act like you don't even have a right to do that. And when y'all talk about slavery, and I know this is off the beaten trail, but when y'all talk about what happened with us in slavery, I see what happened with us just by looking at trucking. You can rent this hoe. You want to work this field? You can rent this hoe right here. But it's going to cost you this. Or I'm going to give you a broken hoe and you're going to have to make do because you agreed for some shit that somebody else agreed to. You know how they say in the Bible, you agree for a penny a day, no matter when you came in. It's Trucking is interesting. Okay. All right. Now, all of that kept me from saying anything about the shit that's going on social media. Other than I'm staying on the fucking porch until y'all get finished with the bullshit that y'all doing, cause y'all some funny motherfuckers. Okay. Um, what I'm seeing as far as social media is concerned is take this shit on a load by load basis. Okay. Someone to say, hey, I rock with this company, I rock with this group, this people, this panel, this channel, this chat, whatever. And at the end of the day, you got to maintain your autonomy, your individuality, and not get caught up because I found myself when Atanya put up his research paper. Y'all know me and Atanya, we got some issues. But at the same time, if you look at my community post, you will see one where I say it's not that serious, but still something. It's not that serious or something. You can see that the information that Atanya put on the floor was information that needed to be heard while other people were doing other shit or didn't know shit or whatever. Okay. And whereas it's like, this nigga get on my nerves because he's the one that said I deserve to be called a bitch. But yet, the fact that he went and did that research paper to actually put it down so he's not flying, winging it on a panel and emotional on a panel, I agree with that, especially some of the statements that I heard him say from in there, which Root Word denied. I'm like, Root Word know good and damn well that that statement was said from those people. But now you act like it wasn't. Okay? So here it is. I got to rock a little bit with Atanya because um, his information was valuable and truthful. And I do that one day only to see last night that it's like, damn, make me regret even rocking with you on the damn shit that you said because today you fucking up. Yesterday you was on point about something, but today you fucking up. Okay? And it's like what I'm finding is that as soon as you say, hey, I rock with this person for X, Y, and Z, people think you're gonna always stay there. And you're not. Okay? Because whereas at one point we might have been getting 90% of good information out here because it was new information, it dropped all the way down to where we might be getting 10% good information and the rest is just some bullshit. Now it's coming down to the point of the information that you're getting is not at the highest level, but now it's like today this one got good information and this one's on bullshit. Tomorrow the one that was on bullshit got good information. It's like you can't. They say bitches ain't loyal. You can't be loyal, okay? Because people aren't even loyal to their own shit. And then they think they got you trapped in my opinion, they think they got you trapped in or locked into their perspective, their position, and you gonna stay there. And that is not the case. So when the one brother said, if this ain't got nothing to do with you, stay on the porch, I'm still on the fucking porch because I'm seeing the shit that's going on. Okay? It's funny, and I'm gonna go here. Some people may not agree with this shit, but I'm gonna go here. Now I put it out there just like this. Probably shouldn't say nothing, but I'm on my channel, so I can. One sister was saying that people should have supported OTK, okay? Because they say that's your brother, that's your brother, and they can't, sisters came up there and rocked and all that stuff, and granted, everybody do what they do, okay? But it made me think about the day that people start saying, you know, all that stuff they is know or think about my life, and I'm like, where was the support then? Okay, um, you know, not that I'm anybody in particular, but it's like if it's gonna be that way, let it be that way all the way across the board. But the point of the matter is not, because people have selective outrage. Okay, you mad at this one for caught saying bitches and hoes and all the shit that's being said, but you don't get mad at that one over there that's on your side for saying the same shit or doing the same troll tactic. Okay, I'm in line with Super right now when he say you think this shit is real. That shit is gonna resonate in my head for the longest. Okay, it's like y'all talk about straw man, but the arguments around here or the discussions that you're having, it ain't nothing but it's like the movie Straw. It ain't nothing but straw man arguments around here. Somebody is everybody's straw man, or somebody is somebody else's straw man. All these fucking straw man arguments and shit. Now y'all want us to do what? Rock with Sinetta? And we tell you we ain't? Because I damn sure ain't. Y'all can. But don't try to get me caught up into that to say because I rock with somebody that I have to rock with this or assume one way or another, because I take this shit on a piece by piece basis at this particular point. Because I done agreed with somebody only to regret it the next day, and it's not only Atinya. Okay? I've been in Root Word's ass and then have to turn around and agree with him and then have to go try to throw his ass off a cliff because of watching him do dumb shit. You know, even the shit with Bobby Knight today. Okay? I listened to the argument, not the personality. Okay? It's shock and awe in the beginning. It was shock and awe when certain troll things were said in the past. Today, I actually came in and listened to the shit and went, well, that's the point right there. I hear clearly what's going on. But it's kind of like what I had said when Root was up there. I said he's picking so many fights or having so many fights just to have a fight that eventually he's going to say, y'all jumped on him. And all I could see in my mind was Chris Tucker when he said, well, of that day was in order to keep what Atanya was saying off the table. And Atanya didn't even catch it because the next day he came back with this SKV, which gave them carte blanche to roll his ass in a blanket and beat his ass. Okay? But y'all keep trolling. Keep on trolling. All right. Like I said, hope you found something you could use. You just can't use me. Okay? And that's what people want to do. I mean, in my mind, I see people waiting for you to say something in the chat so they can get some shit going. That's why I said lock your mailbox. Lock your mailbox. Because they're going to take your information and do what they want to do with it and say that you rock with them. Because they're going to appeal to authority, you know, the majority. And sometimes that majority ain't moral. Or they'll take your morals and act like it supports what they're doing in some way, shape, or fashion. Um, and it's some weird shit to look at. Okay, you know, because on some of this stuff we act like we can't judge correctly on what the fuck is going on because it's a fucking show. But this is also why you see people leave this community and don't look back. I can't believe that people are discussing whether or not we rock with Sonetta, York, and Hayes. I don't rock with none of them. Okay, and to add a few, what was his name? I don't rock with Brother Polite, Umar Johnson, Nature Boy, or Diddy. Okay, it just seems like the whole gamut is a matter of trolling each other. Because I think Diddy and them in the court system's trolling the fuck out of us right now. Because it's like, it's not who's involved in this. It's like who ain't involved in the Diddy trial. Okay, you know what story isn't AI telling? Because they telling stories. I don't know. It's some weird shit. It's some weird shit going on. But anyway, I've been up here for 2.5 hours. Thank you guys for listening to the story about trucking. Hope that helps somebody know that there's some challenges out here when it comes to trucking. And I still got some time. I got to do some stuff around here for the weekend, but I still have chapter, I think it's 2 of The Origin of Language. I wanted to put that on the table, but it just wasn't the right time for me, for you guys, or any of that. But that book is still here. I brought it out here with me so that we could still see it, you know. And, I might need to do that while people are doing other shit, which there was a couple times that it was a good time to do it. I just didn't have the time to do it. So that's going to come to the table, hopefully, maybe tonight. I'll do some reading tonight on that tip if I feel well enough. Some of them nights I wasn't feeling too good to be able to do that. Um, so we're going to read that chapter. I'll get these so that we can pull those up like we did with the other chapters, and we'll see what they say about the African language and the Native American language on that tip. Okay, this isn't about what's popular. It's about what has to be done. So, family, I'm going to get off of here. I thank you guys for showing up. Those of you who listening, those of you who are live streaming this elsewhere and talking shit, and thank you too. At least it's getting out. Okay. So, family, I'm out of here. We'll do some other stuff a little bit later. For those who are interested um, in a private stream yard, looking at the load board and a few things about trucking, uh, hit me up. You know, as far as drop something in the comment section to let me know that you're interested, and I'll invite you to that link if you would, or get with you, invite you to that link, because it will not be on YouTube. It should not be on YouTube. It will be private, and that's about the trucking industry, or some things that's going on, and we can hash it out. Okay, see if there's some suggestions that can be made, some things that y'all can tell me, some things that I might be able to tell others who are in this. Um, but the silence in this is deafening, you know. Anyway, so family, let me get on out of here. I'm gonna play this song one more time, because it is what it is. Let me see if I can get it in here again. This is Crystal Crave. Okay, we're gonna bring her back to the foreground, and I'm gonna get my ass on out of here. All right, here you go.
You are now listening to Anyway Well. Fuck you, cause I ain't in the mood today. Half of y'all don't really fuck with me anyway. And most of y'all will run your mouth but never run a fade. Quick the clock some tea but couldn't clock me. minimum wage. Bitch need a viral moment, ask me if I give a fuck. I'm knocking bitches out the frame and telling baby try her luck. They fucked around and let the rookie off the leash to run them up. I see they watching me and taking notes but never keeping up. Tell you what, don't even drop what's in the bin. When I spit it high, spit it, make you write it again. Bitches belly styling mannequins, I'm picking up pins. Whole asking for writer's credit, huh? Come again. If you ain't know this, not this game could probably fuck your life up. You ain't a gambler, why the fuck you go and pick the dice up? You out here thinking you the baddest, they done gashed your head up. Bitch, you a bird, belly flying, better get your bread up. It is absurd, what is the word? Bitches be quick to observe. Niggas get curved, kick to the curve. I got him cuffing my curves. Come get your nigga, cause he on my figure, and lately he working my nerves. Out of his league, he's so intrigued, but I'm wondering what I deserve. Fuck you, cause I ain't in the mood today. Half of y'all don't really fuck with me anyway. And most of y'all will run your mouth but never run a fade. Quick to clock some tea but couldn't clock minimum wage. Fuck you, cause I ain't in the mood today. Half of y'all don't really fuck with me anyway. And most of y'all will run your mouth but never run a fade. Quick to clock some tea but couldn't clock minimum wage. Crystal this, crystal that, but they ain't know what crystal at. Fuck you, run your cocksuckers, take a look at crystal stats. Acting like they made crystal, pulling rabbits out the hat. They ain't built like the rookie, they ain't got the format. Probably shouldn't do this, but fuck it. Here go your warning. Almost spirits just like preachers up in church Sunday morning. She sees subbing me because she did a basic and born. Imagine watching all my moves while I'm simply ignoring. I can give you all the answers and you still couldn't pass me. I could sit a hater down and she still couldn't stand me. They be watching like a hawk, trying to see what the plans be. Guess your mama should've swallowed. You are a plan B. If you mad, I paint the picture, go and get sis pissed. I'm like the perfect portrait maker, forfeit got sis sick. Treat the music like my canvas, make you call quits. I'm the first and the last, bitch, I've been it. Fuck you, cause I ain't in the mood today. Half of y'all don't really fuck with me anyway. And most of y'all will run your mouth but never run a fade. Quick to clock some tea but couldn't clock minimum wage. Fuck you, cause I ain't in the mood today. Half of y'all don't really fuck with me anyway. And most of y'all will run your mouth but never run a fade. Quick to clock some tea but couldn't clock minimum wage. Fuck you, cause I ain't in the mood today. Half of y'all don't really fuck with me anyway. And most of y'all will run your mouth but never run a fade. Quick to clock some tea but couldn't clock minimum wage.
I can tell how you move, you ain't got no faith. You keep asking yourself what make you so great. You watched everybody eat and they get no plate. All you did was give love and got more hate. They kicked you while you was down, they show you no grace. Soon as they think you up, they wanna show face. That's why it ain't no best friends. I'm my own ace. The way y'all switch up, I fuck around and catch a cold case. Plus I've been up for 4-8. And I've seen things my flesh can understand, but my soul can't. So if we don't talk no more, just know it's okay. When they ask me why I'm single, that's cause music is my soulmate. So if you want me, that's something you oughta notate. At this point, I ain't taking no breaks. When God set the stage, I'm a showcase. Had to step back, get out my own way. And now I'm in no race, so don't wait.
Trauma, a deeply distressing or disturbing experience.
Young Lee got the sauce. Ain't no need to panic, I know where I'm headed. Remember I said it, just keep in mind how you treated me, cause I promise you'll never forget it. Now physical wounds may heal, but I know the trauma's embedded. I get tired of trying to sit still, acting all calm and collected, cause I know shit can get real. I know how I am, so I try to dead it. I told you 1,000 times, chill. How the fuck do you not get the message? These niggas swear they so real. In real life, they really just reckless. It's hard to swallow those pills when you know that they full of deception. It's cold, high moment of stressing. put you close to depression. Plan for the future, stuck in the past. It's hard to cope with the present when you don't know how to let go. It make it real hard to move on from the lesson. And you ain't nothing like them, so you can't just take any suggestions. If you grow up with a lot of neglect, everything feel like a threat. But you start off real nervous, but then you learn how to step. But you still don't know what to expect. It's just hard to accept that this just is what it is. Hell nah, I ain't going for that. Cause it's trauma, post-traumatic. Why I make it so dramatic? It's trauma, it's post-traumatic. Why I make it so erratic? It's trauma, post-traumatic trauma, post-traumatic trauma, post-traumatic, I've been going through trauma since birth. That's part of the curse. Mama don't want me, daddy don't want me. Damn, is that what I'm worth? Life just had to throw me a curve. These grandma snatched me and had me in church. And I really feel bad for my other sisters, cause honestly, they had it worse. This life's not real, they got it rehearsed. It's not skill, they copying words. And the way some of y'all be treating y'all kids, that shit really got me concerned. Never had nothing real, that's not what I learned. At least not till I got me a turn. But to this day in my relationships, I still feel like I'm not being heard. See, it's hard to outrun a memory. That shit could get menacing, going in and out and back and forth inside your head like a tennis ring. Now it's me against the world, and I feel like I don't need anything. I start getting into things, getting out, getting things, which only made me want bigger things. Now I'm walking around like I'm fixing things, till God threw me in the thick of things. Like stop, it's not how I intended things. And it's not a little thing, cause for you, L, I got bigger things. Now I know what that really means. I gotta get through this by any means, cause it's trauma, post-traumatic. Why I make it so dramatic? It's trauma, it's post-traumatic. Why I make it so erratic? It's trauma, post-traumatic trauma, post-traumatic trauma, post-traumatic, it's trauma, post-traumatic. Why I make it so dramatic? It's trauma, it's post-traumatic. Why I make it so erratic? It's trauma, post-traumatic trauma, post-traumatic trauma, post-traumatic trauma.
Hello? Man, I just got out the line for crazy. Man, what's good? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, y'all, I got one more I need to play before we get up out of here. Okay, this one's also by my niece, just to end on a good note.
Have you ever took the time to really just stop and be grateful for everything you got? You can take that time and complain, but for what reason?
Where's Ruckus at? We got all this work and he's not here yet.
I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say.
They've got all kinds of work, you know. He's been late 5 times this week.
I know.
Can't do this anymore.
I need this job.
I need to turn in your stuff. That's it. We're done.
You want me to turn in my stuff?
Sir.
Turn in my stuff. Go! I've been in to destroy it.
Have you ever took the time to look inside? Face the things that you shouldn't hide. The truth hurts, but you shouldn't lie. Faced with pain, but you couldn't cry. They all said that you couldn't fly. That don't mean that you shouldn't try. You took the first step, then you took the sky. Now look at you and look at God. It takes a lot to go against the odds. You gotta put in work, you can't skip the job. I give my life to him cause I'm a different guy. Been a long time coming and I just arrived. I'm trying to do more than just survive. So when you see me elevate, don't look surprised. It took time to let the shift align. Now I'm finally living, I'm not just alive. Have you ever took the time to be grateful, thankful? Remember where you were, but look where you are, cause he saved you. Have you ever took the time to be grateful? Have you ever taken the time to be grateful, thankful? Remember where you were, but look where you are, cause he saved you. Have you ever taken the time to be grateful, thankful? Remain faithful when you get everything that you pray for. You ever stop to think? I won't let it break me, not today. Negativity is not the way. Understand these are lessons and not mistakes. Stop the hate. Step back, take a breath, contemplate. Now, go say what you got to say. Sometimes all we gotta do is conversate. You ain't gotta get loud, and you ain't gotta go crazy. At least do it for the child that hear everything that you saying. Cause they look up to a crowd that don't even know how to save them. Plus, I was taught that it takes a village, so we all gotta raise them. We gotta change the way that we thinking, change the things that we chasing. Until we really start using our brains, things gonna always seem basic. It's a rough road, but embrace it. A lot of hard times that take patience, long prayers that make praises, but through it all I still think. Have you ever took the time to be grateful?
Welcome to Music
changing lives. Thank you all for joining us. We accomplished our vision. Literally, we was out here to build these raised garden beds, and we actually did that. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Have you ever took the time to be grateful? Thankful. Remember where you were, but look where you are, cause he saved you. Have you ever took the time to be grateful? Thankful. Remain faithful when you get everything that you pray for. Have you ever taken time to be grateful? Thankful. Remember where you were, but look where you are, cause he saved you. Have you ever taken time to be grateful? Thankful. Remain faithful when you get everything that you pray for. Be grateful. Be grateful. I know it's hard. But just stay
That was Lady Lines and Tanaji Star. So, family, we're going to get on off of here. Get this stuff on out of here. Appreciate you guys for being here and all this other stuff. Let's get this outro in, and hopefully I can come back before the weekend's over and share with you guys the book. Okay? I just had some stuff I had to get off my chest. All right, we out of here. Peace, y'all.